Pirate Eye was dug up by Robin, Chapter 41-60. Chapter 41 The Duel of Great Swordsmen at a Distance of Thousands of Meters. Boom! The flesh and blood body touched and collided with the great swordsman. Blooming endless light, as dazzling as a small sun. There are broken green sword lights everywhere between heaven and earth. People's eyes closed unconsciously under the stimulation of the sharp sword intent. I don't know how long ago. Heaven, earth and sea returned to calm. The huge 100-meter knife light disappeared, completely blocked and shattered. The entire breezy sea returned to its former calm. Everything seems to have never happened. Is it over? The timid Vivi said weakly. Yes, it's over, Robin replied affirmatively. He's back, there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. Robin's dangling heart was completely put down. Where's the president? How is the president now? It must be all right, Miss Valentine asked anxiously. After all, this disaster was caused by her. If Luo Lin was injured because of it, she would have nothing to repay except to dedicate herself to Luo Lin. Of course, whether Roland is willing to accept it is another matter. The boss is there. Boss brother is fine. Zala and the little lowly Marian cheered in surprise at the same time, and pointed their fingers to the top of a sea king's head not far ahead. Brother Rolling is fine, that's great. Vivi breathed a sigh of relief, her beautiful eyes brimming with brilliance, staring at Luo Lin in the distance without blinking. Result, Robin, Ruo, smelled some kind of special girl hormone aroma floating in the air. ... At this moment, the head is full of sea kings. Luo Lin turned his back to all living beings, and behind him there were huge sea kings quietly raising their heads, setting him off like the master of sea kings. The clothes on his upper body turned into countless tiny particles under the crushing force of the knife light and scattered with the wind. Although the trousers on the lower body are tattered, they are still better, so they won't run away. On the front that Robin and others could not see, a shallow bloodstain healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. After a while, it was intact, and there was no trace of injury. Mahak, the world's largest swordsman, is truly extraordinary. And the strong ones. On the coffin boat thousands of meters away, Hawkeye stood with his knife closed, a rare look of surprise on his calm and cold face. Because of that mysterious powerhouse who suddenly appeared and blocked his knife intact. More because of the Sea King army behind that person. Even if he is as knowledgeable as an eagle's eye, he has never heard of anyone who can command a Sea King. Even a single Sea King is not a threat to the strong at all. But what if it was a group? What if it were all the Sea Kings in the endless sea? Just imagining the annihilation scene of all beasts, even a man like Hawkeye can't help but see a drop of cold sweat on his forehead. The air seemed to freeze. On the coffin ship, the eagle-eyed eagle eyes were vigilantly watching Luo Lin on the hammerhead with a solemn expression. In the same way, Luo Lin was also looking at Mahak, but his eyes were filled with admiration for his younger generation. Now that he has decided to form his own force and enter the world stage, the stronger his subordinates, the better. If a strong man like Hawkeye could join in, it would be all the better. It is not too easy to conquer the world's greatest swordsman, who has self-seeking and single-minded pursuit of the peak of kendo like Hawkeye. It can't be like the description in the novel, the tiger body is shaken, Hawkeye's side leaks, let's bow to the convenience. That's too bullshit. Besides, Luo Lin had to go to East Blue to do business next time, so he didn't have time to spend slowly here with Hawkeye. Let's just say hello and go. Luo Lin whispered to himself, making a decision. At the same time as the voice fell, Luo Lin raised his right hand high. After 36 years of Dusty, Luo Lin has not forgotten his identity as a great swordsman. The great swordsmen of the previous era and the great swordsmen of this era naturally responded with swords to their greetings. Although Luo Lin has no sword in his hand, he has a sword in his heart, so everything can be a sword. A small toothpick is a sword, and likewise the arm is a sword. Kuro agents on the Gustav couldn't understand the realm of Roland's hand as a sword. Thinking it was Luo Lin greeting them, reporting peace, they all shouted excitedly and waved their hands in response. Only the Shichibukai-level crocodile noticed something was wrong. Also aware of something wrong, and on high alert, there is the eagle-eyed Mahawk thousands of meters away. What a strong sword intent! Hawk-eyed Mahawk, Heidaoye suddenly appeared again, and the corners of his mouth curled up. The sharp eyes of the falcon version are even more like flames, full of fighting spirit. It turned out to be a great swordsman. This time, it's a worthwhile trip. Eagle-eyed Mahawk gradually became happy, his waistbow VV sank, his left foot rotated half a step back, and he held the black sword knight in both hands. He was ready to strike. Finally, Luo Lin, who was full of sea kings, opened his eyes. As a result, the sharp sword intent that split open the space radiated from Luo Lin's arm, knife. The calm windless belt of Ling made waves again. 1. At the same time that Luo Lin opened his mouth lightly, the knife in his right hand fell vertically, as if he had written the simplest number, 1, between heaven and earth. Horizontal. Thousands of meters away, Eagle Eye leapt in the air, and also shot out a knife. As before, the green blade light traverses the world. It was not until this moment that the people on the fleet finally reacted with hindsight. This is a duel between their big boss and the world's largest swordsman. Then the shock on his face solidified. The 2 horizontal and 1 vertical sword lights above the sea touched in a blink of an eye, forming a cross between heaven and earth. Boom! Both the sky and the sea were cut open. ... Chapter 42 Waiting for a Lonely Smoker. The cross star shines between heaven and earth. The sky and the sea split apart. ... Roland S. 1, vertical slash and Hawkeye Mahawk, S horizontal slash. The records of the 2 world's top swordsmen crossed into a perfect cross. Finally, it staggered above the sea, releasing a sharp cutting force. The space around the cross slash distorted and then collapsed. In the distance, a pitch-black cross can be seen staggered, which is a terrifying scene of space cracking and healing. If people are sucked into it, they will inevitably be torn into pieces by the overlapping space. With the passage of time, the 2 world's top sword intents rushed into the sky. Then the sky cracked open like an abyss. Countless thick clouds poured into the abyss, but they couldn't fill it up. Similarly, the sea is also cracked under the power of cross slash. If someone could look down from the sky, they would be horrified to find that there seemed to be 2 symmetrical waterfalls in the middle of the sea. Endless sea water poured into the waterfall, creating a terrifying chain reaction. The otherwise calm windless belt is not just as simple as making waves. The speed of the sea water accelerated in an instant, pulling more than 30 ships of the Bakuro fleet toward the sea crack. What are you still doing? Why don't you row quickly? Crocodile was the first to recover from the shocking duel of the great swordsman and shouted sharply. Under Crocodile's scolding, other senior agents and ordinary employees of Bakuro woke up one after another, rowing boats with all their might to resist the pulling force of the Great Falls. However, relying on human power alone, it is still too difficult to contend with the power that is almost equal to Tianwei. Seeing that the Bakuro fleet is getting closer and closer to the mouth of the waterfall. The next moment, a change happens. Just when the ordinary employees were about to collapse and cry, the large sea kings who had previously surfaced with Luo Lin finally moved. Before the people on the boat reacted, one after another large sea kings with a body length of several hundred meters lifted up the fleet's sailboats and began to migrate. Get out of the sphere of influence of waterfall in the sea, in one go. Other side of the waterfall, there are also sea kings under the coffin boat of Hawkeye Mahawk. With him in the coffin boat, they quickly escaped the traction of the waterfall, and arrived at the calm sea. What a strange man. Hawkeye carried Heidaoye back on his back, but he, who has always been unsmiling, laughed out loud at this moment. In this sea, There are still many unknown powerhouses hidden, and my swordsmanship is far from the end. Eagle-eyed Mahawk's eyes gleamed with blazing fire of war. He has already made a decision in his heart. Tomorrow, he will have another kendo duel with that person. Not on the sea, but on land, in an upright, joyful battle. I think so, but the reality is often not satisfactory. Not to mention whether the island land can be found within a day. It is now. Enough, it's almost time to stop. The task that person gave you has been completed. Hawkeye on the coffin ship opened his mouth to the big-headed Sea King who was pulling him. The big bag of Sea Kings did not stop, still going at full speed. Hawkeye. Since you are loyal to that person, then take me directly. I still have something to look for your master. Hawkeye spoke again. The Sea Kings with their heads and large bags still did not stop, let alone turn, and always went in the opposite direction of the Bakuro fleet at full speed. If things go on like this, I'm afraid it's not going to send Eagle-Eye directly to the other side of the Red Earth continent. After waiting for a while, after confirming that the Sea King didn't mean to turn, Hawkeye silently pulled out the supreme sword behind him. A look of horror flashed through the narrowed eyes of the Sea Kings full of big bags, and he hurriedly plunged into the sea and disappeared. Eagle-eyed Mahawk didn't get angry with a little Sea King, but the Sea King who pulled the boat earlier took him out for at least a few dozen miles, and Luo Lin and others on the other side went in the opposite direction. Dozens of miles. Based on the speed at which Hawkeye rode the boat with the blade, I am afraid that it is unlikely to meet again in the next few days. Hawkeye, who wanted to understand everything, was speechless for a while. However, this also made him more and more interested in that mysterious great swordsman whose kendo level was not below him. The ends of the earth, we will see you soon. ... On the other side, Roland and his party, who threw off the Eagle Eye, continued to go straight in the direction of East Blue. But now compared to the past, the fleet's speed is several times faster. Because now they are being held by the overlords of the Windless Belt, the Sea Kings are holding going. How can the speed of the ship slow down? For the almost dreamlike reality that there are Neptunes pulling boats across the windless zone. Not to mention ordinary Bakuro employees, even Crocodile was completely taken aback. He knew that Luo Lin was the only one capable of doing all this. Monster. What a monster. A young strong man who seems to be only in his 20s has a powerful three-color haki. He was still a great swordsman comparable to Hawkeye. Even the Sea Kings are driven by him. This is simply a myth within a myth. At this moment, Rao is as arrogant as Crocodile, and he has to be convinced. I think Roland is indeed qualified to be his immediate boss. Is this guy a god? No matter what I see from him next, I, Crocodile, promise not to be surprised. Crocodile thought to himself. Then, he received a see-through smile from Luo Lin, and he was subconsciously shocked. Flag that was just set up is broken. Annoyed, Crocodile got into the cabin and decided not to show up until East Blue. No more turbulence. All the way calm. Kuro fleet led by Roland arrived at the junction of the sea. East Blue has arrived. ... At the same time, East Blue, the only city port under the Red Continent that connects East Blue with the great shipping route. A marine warship has been anchored here for 4 days. They are Marine from the East Blue Logatown branch. Commanding them is Colonel Marine Smoker, who is known as the Smoker of Logia's smoking fruit ability. After receiving a contact from Marine headquarters and learning that the secret crime company, Baroque Works, led by Shichibukai Crocodile, was targeting East Blue, Smoker, who was stationed at Colonel Marine in East Blue, made an immediate decision. He concluded that the Baroque Works Society took the road of the Red Soil continent, so he was stationed here with troops early. Just wait for Kuro, and stop Baroque Works from entering East Blue at the route. Calculate the time, it is estimated that it will arrive in a few days. First bet Colonel Marine's pride, and I will never let those evil parties step into East Blue under my jurisdiction. Smoker, who was smoking 3 cigars at the same time, set the flag firmly. Smoker, who guessed the opponent's marching route wrong from the very beginning, was destined to wait for a lonely time. Chapter 43 Restaurant Bharati Open Black Lens Bracket 2000 Flowers plus Close Black Lens Bracket. The border between East Blue and the Windless Belt. Kuro fleet headed by the Gustav, a total of 30 ships, arrived at East Blue safely. 30 sea kings with full heads and large bags who were responsible for transporting ships across the Windless Belt successfully completed the task. After getting Luo Lin's liberation order, they all turned their heads and ran in a hurry. After a day of adjustment, the employees of Xinsheng Shipping Works also gradually recovered from the horror of Lu Yu Hakai's near-death experience, the horror of witnessing the ultimate showdown of swordsmen, and the fantastic experience of sea kings pulling boats to sea. From Alabasta and go all the way. From the initial confusion, to the panic and anxiety of entering the Windless Belt, and finally to the smugness of arriving at East Blue safely, their mentality has undergone a fundamental change. After the fantasy experience of the Windless Belt, they already know that in addition to the powerful Shichibukai crocodile, there is another more terrifying existence in the organization. Although they don't know the name of that person, they don't know his appearance, but this does not prevent them from admiring and revering the final boss of the organization. With such a powerful being leading them, why worry about the future? The reputation of their work club is bound to spread around the world. Thinking of these possibilities in the future, the more than 2,000 ordinary employees of Bakuro couldn't help being impassioned, gearing up for a big fight at any time. The task was dispatched quickly. 6 senior agents, Daz Bones, Zala, Bentham, Galtino, Old Moldorafi, and Booger Agent Gem, each led 4 ships, divided into 6 routes, and set off towards the mission area assigned by Robin. There are 2 main tasks for them. One is to do business with the various islands, towns and villages of East Blue. Sell Alabasta's specialty goods, and buy local specialty products to bring back to Alabasta, complete overseas trade, and initially start the name of the shipping work agency to the people of East Blue. It is very simple, even ordinary employees can easily do it. The only thing to worry about is whether these criminals who are accustomed to doing bad things will be able to stay in their place. For this reason, Robin specially arranged a sufficiently loyal intermediate agent on each ship to be responsible for spying, and when necessary, he can take action to eliminate idiots who do not follow the rules. This is an obvious task. As for the secret mission, it is to use them as outposts to make contact with the major underground hidden forces in East Blue. If you can talk about cooperation, talk about it. If you can't talk about it, then fight. If there is a stubborn problem that cannot be solved by the senior agents, the crocodile on the main ship Gustav will automatically support the past. 3 days passed quietly. East Blue is undoubtedly much larger than the Great Airway and Calm Zone. Although the Great Route is the romance and dream of pirates. On this route, more than 80% of the strong men of the sea have gathered. But in terms of area, the entire Great Route, Paradise and the New World combined may not be as big as East Blue. In the geography of the pirate world, the 4 major sea areas of the south, north and west are the main bodies. The Great Fairway and the Windless Belt are like a belt of the world. Luo Lin and his party broke into East Blue happened to be a large open sea. Not to mention people, even uninhabited islands are hard to come across. This situation continued until noon 3 days later. A news bird with a backpack flew over Luo Lin and his party, and dropped a flyer before leaving. The Food Festival Big Eat Challenge, organized by East Blue's famous, fighting, sea restaurant Bharati in association with the East Blue Chef Alliance, will be held in Cook Island in 3 days' time. Vivi read out the information on the flyer while watching, and the expression on her little face gradually became excited. They have been at sea for a week since their departure from Alabasta. I haven't had a chance to get off the boat for a week. Vivi was already tired of it. Suddenly learning that there is such a delicious and fun food festival, Big Stomach Challenge, Vivi naturally became interested and looked at Luo Lin with a look of hope. Little lowly Miss Going Zhou Yi blinked and looked at Luo Lin. The stock of senbei she brought on board had bottomed out and needed to be replenished urgently. President, Bharati, a restaurant on the sea, is also one of my goals. Although it is a restaurant, the chefs in it are all very skilled. Especially the head chef, Zeph, known as the Red-Footed, was also a pirate captain who had gone to the Great Route before, and his strength is not under the senior agents. Robin opened his mouth and informed all the information about the sea restaurant Bharati that had been investigated. In this regard, Luo Lin, who was sitting on a reclining chair and basking in the sun, didn't listen very seriously. It's not because he doesn't care, but because he is much more familiar than Robin with his knowledge of Bharati, the restaurant on the sea. There is also the head chef of the sea restaurant Bharati, Redfoot Zeph, Roland also recognized. It is not based on the previous life through comics and anime, but when he came to East Blue with Garp more than 40 years ago, he met the young Zeph. Robin finished reporting. Luo Lin also recalled the passionate young man who was so smug and vowed to find the existence of all blue. Let's go, then. Roland nodded. Oh yeah. Little lowly Going Joe excited. Brother Roland, thank you. Vivi, who thought Roland agreed to visit for himself, was immediately moved. A teenage girl in love is blind, just like Vivi at the moment. The 6 ships, led by the Gustav, turned and sailed at full speed toward Cook Island on the map. ... The other side. A port city below the Red Earth continent. The marine team led by Colonel Smoker of Logatown Marine still persevered and stationed here, waiting for the Baroque works to come to the door, and then rejected it from East Blue. Mr. Smoker, Mr. Smoker. A certain moment, the little assistant next to Smoker, Tashigi, the daring and fierce glasses girl, anxiously pushed in the door. What's wrong, Tashigi? Is that bastard crocodile finally here? Smoker, who was dozing on the table, opened his sleepy eyes with dark circles, and subconsciously grabbed his 10-handed weapon. Smoker has been doing his best to prepare for the Shichibukai that he doesn't know when he will appear. For 3 days, sleep no more than 4 hours combined. No, Tina Rear Admiral, S. Correspondence. Tashigi handed Smoker a pink phone bug. Tina. Smoker was wondering, the next moment a woman's roar came from the phone bug. Smoker, where the hell have you been in Logatown? Why are you yelling so loudly? I'm busy blocking that bastard from Crocodile, and I won't let him step into East Blue for half a step. Smoker countered unceremoniously. Ha! On the opposite side, Tina let out a loud ha, as if hearing a big joke. She couldn't help but let out a happy voice. What are you laughing at? What's so funny? Smoker frowned. I said, Smoker, what are you still doing in that place? Crocodile and its Baroque Works Club have already entered East Blue. Tina said. What did you say? It's impossible. Smoker was stunned. Chapter 44 Smoker who hit the face at the speed of light. Sea near East Blue Logatown. The 2 warships approached from different directions, converged, and then headed towards East Blue Cook Island. Tina, what the hell are you talking about on the phone bug? How did Crocodile and that guy's crime company Bakuro come to East Blue? The White Hunter Smoker, who was wearing the trendy, smoky makeup, had a look of shock on his face, still a little unbelievable. This week, in order to ensure that they are intercepted, I am stationed in a trading port under the Red Soil continent day and night. How could they slip into East Blue under my nose? This is impossible, Smoker said firmly. Smoker, are you so sure they're going the way you think they're going to get into East Blue? Marine Tina, a beautiful woman with long pink hair, asked rhetorically. Which way would they go if they didn't go that way? Could it be possible to fly over from the sky? Smoker said. Have you been sleeping too little recently and your brain is out of whack? If so, you can take a good rest while you still have some time to arrive at Cook Island. Tina kindly suggested. Fuck you, I'm in good spirits. Smoker took a deep breath of his cigar and refreshed himself. Then how did you say those bastards got here? Smoker asked back. Mr. Smoker. At this moment, the attendant glasses girl beside Smoker seemed to think of something, and raised her hand weakly. I'm wondering if Crocodile and the others just went straight into East Blue without wind, Tashigi guessed. How is this possible? Would you like to die without our marine technology? Smoker retorted flatly. The next second is to be slapped in the face by the speed of light. Tashigi is right, that bastard Crocodile is indeed walking the windless belt. Tina said with a condensed expression. I started 3 days later than them, and it took me 5 days to cross the windless belt directly to East Blue, but according to the eyewitness information, Crocodile and his Bakuro fleet were at least 3 days faster than me. Inferring from the time, they only have the possibility of taking the windless belt. Tina analyzed. Smoker, who heard Tina's analysis, was stunned and immediately became angry. Thinking of how he swore more than once that he would never let Crocodile enter East Blue. As a result, the other party cut off his flag early. The veins on Smoker's forehead began to throb wildly. He meows himself to work hard, staying up late every day to wait for the rabbit, but is it lonely? Smoker, who is a grumpy brother, bear it. I always felt like I was being ripped off by someone. Now, how many ships are left under Crocodile's command? Smoker, who took some time to calm down, asked again. At present, there are 6 ships that the sailors near Cook Island have witnessed. Tina said. Good. Smoker slaps the table suddenly and yells okay. Well what? Tina asked back. When they set off from Alabasta, there were 30 ships, and now there are only 6 left. It's not a good thing. You deserve it. Let you go to the windless belt. Now you will suffer the consequences. It's very happy. Smoker is in a good mood. The next second, Smoker was slapped in the face again by the speed of light. I said Smoker, who told you that the other party only has 6 ships left? Tina raised her slender hand and stroked her forehead helplessly. Isn't what you said. Smoker, realizing that he might be slapped in the face again, was getting upset again. I'm talking about 6 ships near Cook Island. In addition, other areas of East Blue have also reported sightings of the Bakuro ship. After entering East Blue, they have already divided their operations. Tina explained. You didn't tell me sooner. Once again aware of the embarrassment, Smoker stood up. You should listen to me and then come to a conclusion. Why are you mad at me? Tina rolled her eyes. Smoker knew he was wrong and turned to leave. I'm sorry, Miss Tina, Mr. Smoker hasn't even slept these days, he's really tired. Tashigi apologized on behalf of Smoker. I know, you should let him go and have a good rest. Tina didn't really care. She is very clear about the stubborn character of her classmate who graduated from the same level of marine school. The main problem now is still on Shichibukai Crocodile. Cook Island. Also known as East Blue, Chef's Island. It is also on this island that the headquarters of the Mutual Aid Chef Alliance, co-founded by well-known chefs from all over East Blue, is located. On specific days each year, East Blue's renowned chefs gather on Cook Island for the annual food convention. There is also a Big Eater challenge to match it, and the East Blue Big Eater is selected. So far, the East Blue Big Stomach Challenge has been held for 11 times and has received rave reviews. Today, the 12th East Blue Big Eater Challenge begins. Hundreds of boats are densely parked outside Cook Island. Among them, Crocodile's main ship Heavily Rain is the most attractive one. But in today's delicious festival, not many people care. Eat, 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 you know what to eat. Is there only food left in your head? Mr. 4, also be careful not to drip saliva on me again. On the deck of the Gustav, Crocodile jumped up and slapped the tall Mr. 4 Beb on the back of the head. Since he was often beaten on the back of the head, he gradually developed a soft spot for this part. Sorry. Mr. 4 weakly apologized. A pair of small eyes stared at the various delicacies on the island without blinking, and the saliva was still ticking. For a foodie like him, this place is simply heaven. HMPH, Mr. 4, don't think about it, we're here to do business, Crocodile reminded. Rolingo. At this moment, Vivi, Going Joe and Miss Valentine, who left the ship a few minutes ago, happily returned. Waving in his hand is the entry ticket for the Big Eater Challenge. The tall Mr. 4 Bibu's eyes glowed, even when he was excited. This is... Crocodile, aware of the unpleasant atmosphere, was speechless for a moment. Isn't it good to do business? What the hell is going on here? I see. Robin's mind flashed, and he seemed to think of something again. What do you know? Roland gave Robin a sidelong glance in surprise. ... Chapter 45 Robin's Brain Supplement Smoker is here. Brother Luo Ling, I have already signed up. There are a total of 7 tickets, and everyone has a share. Vivi, who was not at all restrained by a princess of a country, jumped back happily, waving the ticket on her hand as if showing off. For Vivi, who has been in Alabasta for many years, everything about this East Blue trip was novel. Especially in the competition with Luo Lin, I feel a little excited when I think about it. Different from the joy of little girls such as Vivi and Going Joe. At this moment, when he learned that he was signed up for this kind of stupid competition, Crocodile's old cold face seemed to have an embarrassing word. No, President, I don't think this kind of thing is necessary at all, and it will not have any effect on the increase of the influence of the work society. It should still be the main thing here, Crocodile suggested. He is a dignified Shichibukai, a famous pirate above the sea. If it is recognized that he is participating in the Big Stomach King competition, what will be the face? Will definitely be laughed at. Especially his former nemesis. Crocodile is also a decent person, he wants face. So, in this Roshzi Big Stomach Challenge, whoever likes to go will go. Little Crocodile. As for Crocodile's suggestion, before Luo Lin had time to say anything, Robin suddenly seemed to think of something and spoke first. I see. Robin said clearly. What do you know, Miss Robin? Vivi asked in confusion. This is also Roland's question. I haven't said anything yet. Did you know again? Crocodile, who said participating in the Big Eater Challenge here doesn't do anything to increase the organization's impact. Robin said. Then you are talking about what kind of use it is. Crocodile said angrily. You shouldn't have forgotten that the current Xincheng shipping agency is no longer the secret criminal organization of the past, but a regular company that wants to go to the bright side of the world. One of the goals of our trip to East Blue was to pass on this new idea to the people of East Blue, which naturally required publicity. This Big Stomach Challenge is an excellent opportunity. As Shichibukai, if you show up and compete with ordinary people, you can play a publicity role, and secondly, you can show your friendly side. Allay people's fears of your Shichibukai pirate status. Robin's reasoned and honest analysis made Vivi, Going Joe and others nodding their heads in approval. I see, is this the boss's plan? It's worthy of our handsome boss. Miss Valentine spared no effort to pat Roland's rainbow fart. Luo Lin's face was calm, his eyes were even deeper, and his heart was suddenly stunned. As for Robin's excessive interpretation of his words and deeds, Luo Lin said that he could not laugh or cry. He just wanted to be nostalgic because he thought about the Big Eater game with Garp in the past. Who would have thought that Robin could make up so much? But, listening to Robin say this, it seems to be true. It's all as Robin said, and it's true, little Crocodile, you wouldn't want to disobey my orders, would you? Roland suppressed the smile in his heart and squinted at Crocodile. I just participate. Crocodile looked sad and angry, and finally gave in. That's right, here, little Karak. Vivi grinned and shoved a ticket to Crocodile. And Miss Robin's. I'll let it go. Robin smiled and waved. Hey why, even little Karak participated. Vivi was puzzled. It's really inconvenient for Robin. Vivi, don't force her, just add one more. Roland spoke in a timely manner to make a clearance for Robin. Hearing this, Robin immediately gave Luo Lin a grateful look. If it wasn't for her special status, of course she would also like to participate in activities with everyone. Unlike ordinary pirate bounty criminals. As the only survivor of O'Hara and the only person left in the world who can interpret historical texts, Robin is naturally given special attention by the government. Once the whereabouts are exposed, there will inevitably be endless troubles in the follow-up. Crocodile also knew this, so he didn't make a fuss about, what if the proposer didn't participate? Since Brother Rolling said so, that's fine. Vivi didn't force any further, nodding in response. Everything's ready. There is still some time until the opening of the challenge. The bored Roland waited silently on the boat. At the same time, 2 marine warships headed straight towards the port where Roland and his party were located. 500 meters, 400 meters, 250 meters, 100 meters. In the sound of hoo-hoo, smoke, a white figure rose into the sky from the bow of the warship. Crocodile. Smoker, sullen roar echoed in the sky. ... Chapter 46 Tashigi cried Tina is messy. Crocodile. A roar full of anger suddenly exploded. Thick white smoke burst from the bow of one of the warships. Immediately afterwards, a smoking figure rose into the sky, crossed the sea 100 meters, and landed heavily on the deck of the Gustav. Colonel Logatown Marine, Logia Smoker Fruit, White Hunter Smoker. Roland, Crocodile and others on the Gustav were not surprised by the sudden explosion of Smoker. Because as early as a few minutes ago, they had already discovered the arrival of the 2 marine warships. Gu-ha, isn't this the White Hunter Smoker? It's an honor to know that I'm coming to East Blue, so I'm here to greet you in person. Crocodile smiled grimly. Crocodile. The bulging veins on Smoker's forehead were a few more. Bastard, who are you saying is here to greet you? I'm here today just to arrest you. Smoker growled irritably. Gu-ha, Colonel Smoker, you are such a powerful official, can't I come to East Blue for a tour, to do business? Why are you arresting me? What am I doing? Crocodile said calmly. Why, of course you're a pirate. Let me tell you honestly, what exactly is your bastard trying to come to East Blue this time? Smoker clenched his fists and asked. Thinking that in order to stand by and wait for Kuro, he stayed lonely in the port on the Red Soil continent, and was completely put together, Smoker was full of anger. At this time, I can still hold back and do not make a move. Let's compare a few words first, it is already very restrained. Smoker, calm down. Mr. Smoker. At this moment, as the warship approached, 2 more slender figures jumped up from the warship and stepped on the air to the Gustav ship. The first person has beautiful long pink hair, and inside is a set of rose-red clothes, which completely outlines his perfect figure. Smoker, calm down, they really haven't done anything out of the ordinary so far. Colonel Marine Tina waved and threw a row of black thresholds between Smoker and Crocodile, who were about to kiss, to prevent conflicts. After all, what she said was true. So far, there has been no news of the Baroque works, wanton chaos. Thanks from the people on the islands where Ba Kuro's boat had stayed. This result is truly anomalous. Tina is weird. Ba Kuro, sent back from various places, Tina murmured subconsciously. Mr. Smoker. Marine, who was a few steps behind Tina, and Tashigi, the glasses girl, stepped on the unskilled moon step and swayed. After a while, he finally managed to stand on the rail of the Gustav. But the next moment, the naturally cute glasses girl Tashigi slid down and let out a coquettish cry, and the whole person fell into the sea. Tashigi. Tina hurriedly threw her hand away, trying to hold Tashigi back with the ability of the threshold fruit. Before her, however, a large hand appeared in the oblique thorn and grabbed Tashigi's back collar. Tashigi, who was about to fall into the water, was carried back to the deck like a chicken. Little girl, your moon step is still far from good. You need to practice more on weekdays. Luo Lin said with a smile. Luo Lin, who suddenly appeared and lifted himself up, Tashigi froze subconsciously. Glasses girl Tashigi, and her heart was a little confused. Sorry for causing you trouble, and thank you. Tashigi kept bowing to Roland to thank him. So the body glasses slipped off as expected. Ah, glasses, my glasses. Tashigi panicked again. Roland, who had long expected this to happen, chuckled and put on glasses for the flustered Tashigi. Ah, the glasses are back on their own. Tashigi was pleasantly surprised. Tina. Little girl, you can't be called a qualified sea soldier. If you go to the battlefield, even if you have 9 lives, it is not enough to die. Do you also expect the enemy to wait kindly on the battlefield? Did you find the glasses? Indeed, Tashigi's naturally cute personality is cute, funny, and lovable. But as a Marine, obviously not qualified. Who used to be Marine Vice Admiral, has also brought out many recruits. Seeing Tashigi's appearance at this time, he couldn't help but say a few more words. After I finished speaking, I remembered my current position, and immediately shook my head and said nothing more. On the other side, after hearing what Luo Lin said, the glasses girl Tashigi was stunned in place. Of course, she is aware of her rash personality and the attribute of often losing her glasses. It's just that nothing irreparable has ever happened so far. Now hearing Luo Lin talk about it, this is the first time Tashigi has faced up to this shortcoming of his own. Thinking of what might happen after he actually went to the battlefield, Tashigi's eyes turned red, and he was about to cry. Tashigi, don't be easily influenced by other people's words. At this moment, Tina on the side pulled the depressed Tashigi behind her, and a pair of beautiful eyes stared vigilantly at the strange young man who suddenly appeared in front of her. Who are you? Tina shouted. As early as a few hundred meters away, she had already observed the people on the Gustav through the observation mirror, and had seen Roland. At that time, she thought that Luo Lin was just an ordinary spy agent. However, through the previous scene, she knew that the handsome man in front of her was definitely not an ordinary person. A face I've never seen before, the new senior agent of Baroque Works. Wait. What's the matter with this guy? I know you should look at me with this kind and charitable, look. Colonel Tina, who noticed the kind eyes from Roland who admired his junior, suddenly widened his eyes. However, the next moment, the more and more messy things happened to this beautiful Colonel Tina. In just a blink of an eye, Roland appeared within a foot of her without warning, raised his hand and took the lady's cigarette from her mouth. The little girl's family, don't smoke all the time. It's not good for your health, and it's not good for military discipline. As a school officer, you can set an example. Roland, who was once the role model vice admiral, has relapsed. Looking at the cigarette that Roland casually flicked into the sea, and listening to the instructions from the enemy in her ears, Tina was completely messed up. Chapter 47. Tina wants to beat Vivi's boyfriend. Who the hell is this? Watching Roland take the cigarette from her mouth, Tina was completely messed up. Tashigi cried in the previous sentence, but now he is still preaching to her. What made Tina even more unbearable was the look in Luo Lin's eyes when he looked at her. It's not like the admiration of ordinary men when they see her, this kind of look is more like. Just like Mr. Garp and Sister He, the kind eyes that are like looking at their juniors. What does this mean? Although I don't want to admit it, I obviously look older than you. Is the first time that it is so plain. Tina had to admit that Luo Lin's way of picking up a conversation really caught her attention. Hoo. Tina took a few deep breaths, and Sushie fluctuated with his deep breaths again and again. She suppressed her urge to punch Roland's perfect face. Those who are not calm here, one smoker is enough. She also has to take care of the overall situation. Although the words and actions of this brother in front of him are very abhorrent, but he can't turn his face for the time being. Here, Tina has controlled her urge to hit someone. On the other hand, the situation is on the verge of getting out of control. Crocodile was also incensed under Smoker's aggressive aura. If it wasn't for Luo Lin's order, he would have been unable to help educate this ignorant boy. Although he can't make his move, to be fair, Crocodile still has a useless hole card. Pop. Crocodile took out a certificate and slapped it on Smoker. I am Shichibukai. This is the legal plunder certificate issued to Lao Tzu by your superior's superior. Not to mention that I haven't plundered. Even if I do plunder, what can you do with me? Speak to Gorosei, 5 elders, and tell him to undo it. Crocodile spoke arrogantly and righteously. 7 orifices smoked, and the whole person seemed to be about to explode. I don't care what Shichibukai you are. What bullshit legal looting certificate? I don't approve of that. Smoker growled. The atmosphere in the field suddenly became tense. Sand and Smoker on each side, and they are about to fight. At this moment, a pretty girl's voice came. Brother Rolling, little Karak, why haven't you come yet? The game has to start. Wearing a sky blue dress, Vivi walked back to the boat along the plank, and the smile on her face froze when she saw Marine on the boat. You are Princess Vivi of Alabasta Kingdom. Beautiful Colonel Tina recognized Vivi's identity and exclaimed. Okay, Crocodile, I've been caught by me this time. You dare to kidnap the princess. This time you have nothing to say. Be honest. Before Smoker finished speaking, the next second he was completely stunned. His eyes widened, as if he had heard the most incredible thing in the world. You are Miss Tina. Vivi also recognized Colonel Tina, who was in charge of going to the marine base on St. Tin Island, and her eyes lit up. Miss Tina is great here. I didn't know how to explain it. Miss Tina, it's all a misunderstanding. Little Karak is now the captain of our Alabasta Kingdom trade team. We came to East Blue this time to travel, and by the way, we will promote domestic specialties to East Blue. Don't worry, he will never do bad things. Smoker. Tina. Tina and Smoker to react. Vivi moved gently, trotted in front of Luo Lin, holding Luo Lin's arm without hesitation. This move of Vivi made Tina open her mouth in shock again. My conjecture about Luo Lin's identity changed from Ba Kuro's new senior agent to Princess Vivi's boyfriend. If so, let's go, brother, the Big Eater competition is about to start. Everyone, hurry up. Vivi said and dragged Roland to the island. HMPH, you're lucky, this time I have something to do. I'll let you go, you smoke brat. Crocodile sneered and followed Luo Lin and Vivi. Smoker, Tina, and Tashigi were left in a mess in the wind. After a long time, until Luo Lin and his party disappeared from the crowd on the island, Tina and the 3 finally came back to their senses. Smoker, are you okay? Tina reminded. Don't worry, I'm fine, now I'm more awake than ever. Smoker said calmly. Really? Tina asked suspiciously. That sand crocodile must have some ulterior motive when he came here. He must be planning some dangerous plan in secret. Even the Princess of Alabasta was deceived by him. Wait, I will definitely take his foxtail out. Smoker's expression was firm. Then what are you going to do? Tina asked. It goes without saying, of course I'm following him. I'm also going to the Big Eater Challenge. Smoker said. Tina, huh? Tashigi. ... Pop. Clap clap clap. Colorful fireworks exploded in the sky, representing the official start of this year's Big Eater Challenge. Players who paid the entry fee entered the field one after another. Roland didn't sit with Crocodile, but took Vivi, Valentine's Day and Little Loli Going Week to take a seat in the corner of the venue. Not long after the 4 of Rollins took their seats, a valiant figure broke into Luo Lin's sight. Still the bright pink hair. The only difference is that Tina at the moment did not wear the conspicuous military uniform, but changed into a casual one. Previously, Smoker proposed a plan to stare at Kuro to prevent Crocodile from secretly planning under the cover of this Big Eater challenge. Tina was also forced to enter the water. On the two senior cadres, Valentine's Day and Going Joe, as well as Luo Lin, who is suspected of being the boyfriend of the Princess Vivi. Yo, little girl, you have to participate too. It's a coincidence. Roland said hello with a smile, and at the same time looked at Tina with a kinder gaze. Tina, be calm. Tina murmured in a low voice, forcing herself to calm down. Although I really want to give Yaz eyes a black eye with an old fist. But considering the possibility that Roland is Princess Vivi's boyfriend and will even become King Alabasta in the future, Tina restrained herself and turned to talk to Vivi. The other side. The contestants of the Big Stomach Challenge came and took their seats one after another. The host of the venue began to introduce the seated players of this challenge, and the atmosphere was lively. The first is the seated Big Stomach King who has achieved excellent results in previous challenges, and the second is some celebrity players in this competition. The 10-minute introduction came to an end. Suddenly, the spotlights in the field came on and fell on the players in a certain seat. The next thing I want to introduce to you is the unexpected big man of this challenge, Shichibukai, who came from the great root of Alabasta Kingdom, Crocodile. The host's high-pitched voice echoed over the venue. The world seems to be quiet for a moment at this moment, and the next moment is endless noise and uproar. The whole place is boiling. Chapter 48 Sanji envies F shocked. What? Shichibukai Crocodile. A big pirate like Shichibukai Crocodile is here. Is there a mistake? How could someone like that come to a challenge like this? It's unscientific. Ah, that man is really Crocodile, I saw it in the papers. How good is this? Shichibukai is not an ordinary pirate, and even the powerful battle chefs cannot guarantee that they can overwhelm him. The entire Big Eater Challenge venue was buzzing, shaken by the appearance of Crocodile. Crocodile, crunch. I originally planned to walk through the scene casually and leave the scene in one round without attracting attention. It's good now, even if you want to keep a low profile, you can't do it, and it has been completely exposed to the public's sight. At this point, Crocodile simply broke the jar and gave it up completely. Now that you are participating, you must bet on Shichibukai's reputation and win. Everyone be quiet, be quiet. Before the scene got out of control, the host of the conference shouted loudly. Mr. Shichibukai Crocodile is only here as a contestant this time, everyone can rest assured. The host reassured. And there is a special contestant at this conference, and he is. Having said that, the host paused and sold out a little. As the spotlight turned to completion, he shouted, he is Captain Logatown Marine Base, Colonel Marine, Mr. Smoker the White Hunter. As the host's introduction fell, Smoker, who was wearing a marine justice cloak, stepped into the field and sat next to Crocodile amid the boiling cheers. Whatever you want to do, I'll be watching. Smoker gave Crocodile a smug glance. Seeing the smug look on Smoker's face, Crocodile's face sank and Vivi started to get upset again. Then, without further ado, I announce the official start of the 12th Big Eater Challenge. First of all, the first challenge is to provide 100 delicious sea beast barbecues provided by the chefs of the sea restaurant Barati. Let's start. With the host's order, the Big Stomach Challenge officially started. The sea beast barbecue grilled by the chefs of the sea restaurant Barati was brought to the table of each contestant. A full 100 large bones and flesh are stacked into a hill. Each large bone and flesh is more than 10 centimeters thick. The first challenge of the Big Stomach Challenge is to eat 100 servings of big meat within 1 hour, then the challenge is successful. Those who give up halfway or fail to eat within an hour are considered to have failed the challenge. So much weight, just looking at it is scary. The 1-hour timing made many contestants who joined in the fun shouting that it was impossible. Gudong. Beside Luo Lin, Vivi swallowed hard and unconsciously. She was also a member of the group to join in the fun. However, Now she regrets participating in this challenge. This weight is simply not something that a beautiful girl like her can digest. Do what you can, little girl Vivi, don't worry about wasting it. The food left in the conference will be provided to the tourists on the island for free later. Roland said. Well, I'll try my best. Vivi clenched a small pink fist and cheered for herself. The timer starts. A crisp gong resounded through the venue, indicating that the 1-hour countdown had begun. Vivi, who was already ready, grabbed a big meat and started to eat. Vivi, who had eaten a half-sized belly, was defeated and left the field. Miss Valentine's Day and Miss Going Week weren't much better either. Miss Valentine ate 2 more than Vivi. Little lowly Going's body shape was there, and she burped after only half her stomach. After Vivi, Miss Valentine and Going Joe left the stage one after another. Luo Lin's eyes fell on the adjacent Tina. Little girl Tina, if you can't eat it, don't eat it, don't force yourself. Luo Lin kindly reminded. Don't worry about it, I can eat it, Tina said in a fit of anger, and slapped 20 yuan in a row. Kind gaze of Roland. ... Meanwhile, on the top floor of East Blue's famous sea restaurant Bharati. The Bharati chefs, who had the meat and bones needed to complete the first challenge of the convention, finally got some time to spare. After handing over the cleaning to the handyman, Bharatiya's chefs climbed to the top floor one after another to watch the challenge at the Big Eater venue through the observation glass. As a chef, it's a blessing to be able to see customers eat their dishes with satisfaction. Patty, is that rumor true? Crocodile from Shichibukai came here to participate in the Big Eater challenge this time. Bharati's Gokudo duo, the chef Carney who is best at meat cooking asked in surprise. Ha ha ha, of course it's true, Carney, see for yourself, right there, the legendary Shichibukai crocodile, who is enjoying our food right now, and the White Hunter Smoker from Logatown. This year's Big Eater the challenge is really fun. Quote. The other member of the extreme duo, Patty, whose forearm is like a Popeye who ate spinach, laughed. Just then, by the adjacent window, a curly-haired blonde youth in a black striped suit let out a wolf-like whistle. Really, Sanji, you bastard, how long are you going to occupy the windowsill alone? Everyone is waiting to see. Sanji, you must be looking at the girl again, right? Isn't there any punctual beauties to participate in this conference? Didn't they used to be aunties with fat waists and strong bodies? Bharati's chefs joked. Sanji, a young man with curly eyebrows, was unmoved by the ridicule of his companions, and his eyes that turned into love almost broke through the lens of the observation mirror and arrived at the venue. 1, 2, 3. This time is really worth it. There are so many lovely girls participating. I knew I would have signed up for service work, damn it. Sanji said to himself regretfully. Oh, wait, there seems to be a different one mixed in. Sanji, who was staring at the corner of a beautiful girl in the venue through the observation glass, noticed something unusual. Men, why are there men? Isn't that place reserved for beautiful ladies? Sanji said in disbelief. Could it be that? After a while, Sanji seemed to think of something, and the expression on his face was sluggish, and then gradually deformed. Damn, it's enviable. The world is so unfair. Isn't that man a little bit more handsome than me? Why are there so many girls around? Sanji stared enviously at Roland in the venue, completely transformed into sour lemon essence. Regarding Sanji's inexplicable change in expression, all the chefs, you look at me, I look at you, are all unclear. What are you still doing? Just then, a majestic old man's voice came from outside the door, from Bharati's captain and chef, Redfoot Zeph. I said that people can't be seen anywhere. It turns out that they are all hiding here to be lazy. Does the restaurant need to open? Why don't you hurry up and prepare, there will be guests coming soon. Zeph, wearing a white chef hat and braided golden beard, scolded. Yes. Except for Sanji, who was completely distracted because of envy and jealousy, the other chefs stood upright and hurried to work. After everyone left, Zeph glanced at Sanji helplessly, without disturbing him. Instead he picked up a lookout mirror and followed the direction Sanji was looking at. After seeing a young man in the corner of the venue who quickly wiped out the flesh and blood like an elegant gourmet, the battle-hardened Captain Chef was completely stunned by shock. Chapter 49 Old Eats a Secret Burger East Blue Little Thief Cat. The top floor of the Sea Restaurant Bharati. One old and one young. The eyes of the two head chefs Bharati and the sous chefs are tacitly focused on the same person at the moment. It's just that the expressions on the faces of the two are very different. Sanji, a young man in a black suit with curly eyebrows, was full of resentment and envy on his face at the moment. The jealous mood made him unrecognizable, and the whole person seemed to exude a sour lemon scent. As for the old man on the other side of the windowsill, the head chef of the Sea Restaurant Bharati, and the irritable Captain Zeph with the name of Red Feet, his face at this moment is nothing but shock. That person is, how could it be, still the same as 40 years ago? He hasn't changed at all. What the hell? The majestic and imposing red-footed Zeph, who has always said one thing in Bharati's restaurant, can't even utter a complete sentence at this moment. He never imagined that after 40 years, he would see the same person again. The benefactor who rescued his most important feat from pirates 40 years ago. He couldn't believe it, a man who had disappeared for 40 years. A man who doesn't even exist in any of the historical records shows up again. And, still so young. Everything is as it was yesterday. The emotion called shock took over all his senses and left his mind blank. I don't know how long ago. Maybe minutes, maybe seconds. Zeph saw the man in the venue through the observation glass and turned his head to look at him, and Vivi's mouth curved into an arc. Just as he was guiding the lost 40 years ago with a clear path. Exactly the same. It's really that person. The one who was completely wiped out by some invisible big hand is back. At this moment, Zeph's inner shock turned into joy, which was beyond words. Mr. Rollins, you're really back. Redfoot Zeph murmured, a rare choked voice in his voice. Damn, that bastard. Just then, Sanji's unwilling scolding from the adjacent windowsill woke Zeph from his memory of the past. That bastard, he actually dared to laugh at me. This is a provocation. Kai Guguo's provocation. I'm not a man if I can bear it. While talking, Sanji rolled up his sleeves and prepared to fight. He completely took Roland's previous look at Zeph as a provocation to him. __. Sanji's high-pitched shouting, angry and angry, didn't last long, but his taste changed completely. The original roar turned into a shrill scream. Because the king of battle chefs in the Sea Restaurant Bharati shot. Oh no, shot. Chef prosthetic leg fly kick. The head chef. After realizing who Sanji was hostile to, Zeph immediately kicked Sanji away and smashed it against the wall. Then came the heavy weight that fell from the sky and a series of 12-way bouncing legs like a violent storm. You stinky boy, why are you hiding here if you don't work hard? Just take a look. Do you know who that person is? You're still trying to provoke, don't you want to die? I see that you haven't put on the roof for 3 days, and your skin is itchy again, right? The red-footed Zeph cursed violently, and even the people in the kitchen on the first floor could clearly hear the thumping sound of the floor. Sanji, what's wrong with this? Deserving it, who made the old man angry with that kid? However, I don't seem to have been beaten so hard before. All the chefs in Bharati restaurant were shocked, and they dared not slack off in their work. The other side. Big Stomach Challenge venue. The hourglass completely leaked light, indicating the end of the first round of the challenge. In the first round of food challenge alone, 80% of the people were wiped out. The remaining 24 people, including Luo Lin, had successfully challenged, and Crocodile, Mr. Forbibu and Smoker were all still alive. Without giving the challengers time to rest and digest, the second round of challenges followed. Just as soon as the host started to introduce the second round of challenges, Luo Lin's eyelids couldn't help but jump. There was an unpleasant feeling inside. First of all, congratulations to everyone here for successfully passing the first round of food challenge. Next, the second round of challenges you will face will be the hell trial of taste. A qualified big eater should not only have a huge appetite, but also have the capacity to tolerate no matter what kind of food tastes. So in this second round of challenges, everyone will taste the secret recipe of the dark gourmet, Laoba, 50 kinds of dark burgers that challenge the limit of taste, now to cook. With the host's order, the waiters of the conference served Luo Lin and others a burger with 50 colorful and exotic ingredients. Stinky tofu, captives, lemons, squid feet in honey sauce. All kinds of dark cuisine burgers can only be imagined, but not impossible. Just looking at the color and smelling the smell is a big challenge to the human body's endurance. A challenge called the Trial of Taste Hell. For this disgusting challenge, Luo Lin really chose to get up and leave. Whoever likes to eat this shit will eat it. Without disturbing anyone, Luo Lin quietly left the venue. Observation hockey spreads out, quickly covering the entire island. Roland sensed Tina, the junior marine who was hiding in the corner and retching because she ate too much. At the same time, Robin, Vivi and others were also found. Just Vivi, Miss Valentine and little lowly going Joe. There is a fifth person in the box of the tea room. A young girl with short orange hair. She is. Roland narrowed Vivi's eyes, and just based on observation hockey's perception, he recognized the identity of the fifth person in the box. East Blue's little thief cat, a genius navigator, little girl Nami. Hee hee. Chapter 50 Thief meets robber. Nami is going to cry. Vivi, who had retreated from the Big Stomach King's meeting, was going to look for Robin. He happened to come across a scene of several burly men bullying weak girls. Vivi, who has a strong sense of justice, can stand by and watch such injustices. Regardless of whether his kung fu is a three-legged cat or not, Vivi rushed straight up when his mind became hot, and stood in front of little girl Nami, and wanted to be brave. However, there are too many people on the opposite side. Even if Vivi has learned 2 tricks from the chief guard of the kingdom, it is still not enough. Fortunately, at the critical moment, Miss Valentine's Day and Miss Going Week arrived in time. These few made Vivi into a hard fight in the East Blue Black Society, which is of course not a problem for them as senior agents. Crisis lifted. Nami, who was rescued by Vivi, wanted to sneak away. But Vivi is too enthusiastic. Afraid that the gang would find Nami again, they insisted that Nami follow them. After going back and forth, several little girls gradually became acquainted with each other. After finding out that Vivi was a child of a wealthy family, Nami was not in a hurry to run away, but her attitude became more and more enthusiastic. Just like that, we came together. After getting along for half an hour, the clever little thief cat could roughly guess that he seemed to have met an incredible group of people. Vivi, Miss Valentine's Day and little lowly going are good people to say on Wednesday. One is naive, one is insane, and one is ignorant of the world. Just a few words can fool the past. But only the last big sister, the woman Vivi calls Robin's sister, makes Nami, the little thief cat known for her cunning, feel uneasy. Robin pressed his chin with one hand, always with a charming kind smile on his face. However, the more this happened, the more alarmed Nami became. After so many years of traveling, this is the first time Nami has met someone she can't handle. Every time she met Robin's long and narrow beautiful eyes, Nami couldn't help but feel guilty for a while, only to feel that she had been seen through. It feels really bad. Even knowing that Vivi is a big fat sheep worth slaughtering. But with Robin watching, Nami knew that her success rate was very slim, so she had no choice but to give up. Well, Vivi, thank you very much today. Those who chased me should have left now, and I should leave. There are still some things at home. I will wait for you to come to my house tomorrow, and I will treat you to a good meal. Dayton. Nami had no choice but to say goodbye, saying that she wanted to treat guests, but she didn't even say where her home was. Except for Robin, the other 3 people didn't realize this. Well, then we'll see you next time, little Nami. The innocent Vivi waved his hand, still happy to meet a new friend, not knowing what the other party really thinks. Then I'll go first, see you Vivi, and big sister too. Nami finally waved at Robin, picked up the heavy cloth bag on the ground, and the gate of opening left. However, just as Nami left at the gate of opening, she just took half a step and hit a wall. Whoops! Nami let out a coquettish cry and fell back. Before she fell to the ground, a large warm hand wrapped around his waist and hugged her. Don't leave in such a hurry, it's rare that little girl Vivi has made new friends. Roland straightened Nami, and at the same time took the extremely heavy cloth package and put it in the innermost part of the room. Brother Roland, you left too. Vivi was surprised. Hey President, didn't you pass the first round? I thought the president would win all the way to the end. Miss Valentine said. There's nothing you can do about it. After all, the challenge in the second round is simply to find fault for yourself. Robin explained a sentence for Luo Lin, apparently knowing the details of the strange challenge in the second round. Just when Robin, Vivi and others were delighted by the appearance of Roland, Nami, who had been stunned for a moment by the sudden appearance of the handsome guy at the door, came back to her senses. No, now is not the time to think about that. There are more and more people on the other side. It's time for me to go. Nami shook her head and was about to leave. That's when she realized something was wrong. It was so light on his shoulders that he seemed to be missing something. Ah, my treasure. Nami's pupils widened, she finally reacted, and she turned around quickly, just in time to meet Luo Lin's eyes. So Nami was stunned again. When she looked at Robin before, she was only vaguely uncomfortable. But now, when she met Luo Lin's eyes, Nami only felt that her body and mind, everything from the inside out, were exposed to the other person's sight. Oh. Nami's body stiffened, her heart thumped, and she felt an aura of something going wrong. The fact that there is treasure hidden in that cloth package of his has definitely been seen through. Little girl, I'm not going to sit down and stay for a while. Roland said with a smile. Nami opened her mouth, wanting to cry without tears. But in order to get back the treasure that belongs to him, he had to sit down obediently. Who am I provoking to provoke who today? Is this a robber? Nami wanted to cry a little. Chapter 51 East Blue, S. Crocodile. Cook Island's annual Big Eater Challenge has lasted more than 4 hours from noon to dusk. The duration has surpassed the records of previous challenges. In the past, even if you encounter a big stomach king who can eat again, it usually takes 2 to 3 hours. At most 5 rounds of challenges can determine the final winner. However, this year's challenge has reached the 7th round. This situation, even the organizers of the competition did not expect. The rush can only continue to add challenge segments. However, even though more than 4 hours had passed, the Big Stomach Challenge venue was still crowded with people. The flow of people who came to pay attention to the game not only did not decrease, but instead increased. The reason is in addition to satisfying the curiosity in my heart. It's more because of the identity of the last 2 people who are still on the court at the moment. One is the Great Pirate of the Great Root, Shichibukai Crocodile. Other is Colonel Marine, a household name in East Blue, Smoker the White Hunter. Alternative duel between pirates and marine. People who follow the competition want to know who among them will have the last laugh. The 7th round of challenges begins. With the hoarse voice of the host. The 7th round of the challenge between Crocodile and Smoker begins. The food this time was normal, not the dark and exotic dishes like the second round of Lauba's Secret Small Burgers. But when they saw the food in front of them, both Crocodile and Smoker retched in unison. There is no other reason, just because both of them have reached their limits. Even the elementalized body of the Logia devil fruit swells and cannot hold any more food. Goo tilde ha tilde ha tilde ha. The smoke brat is right to hiccup tilde tilde tilde. You have reached your limit. If you want me to say that you can't eat it, don't hold on anymore, surrender. Hiccup tilde tilde tilde. You won't lose to me. Shame. Crocodile, who was fat into a ball and had no ruthless crocodile image at all, started verbal attacks and psychological warfare. Bastard crocodile, you are the one who should surrender to hiccup tilde tilde tilde. Besides, I have reached my limit, and you are different. If you don't want your body to explode and make a fool of yourself in front of others, leave early. Smoker showed no weakness, and pointed his needle at maiming. Both of you, if you can't eat it, will it be a tie this time? Hello and me, everyone. The contest host rubbed his hands together and reconciled with a smile on his face. Then he got double-eyed from Crocodile and Smoker, and hurried back in fright. Mr. Smoker, please stop pushing yourself. Sidelines, Smoker's guardian, Tashigi worriedly discouraged. Smoker, don't continue to mess around. Tina also frowned and stopped. By contrast, the long-range guards on Crocodile's side, Miss Valentine and Miss Going Joe are still cheering him on where he can't hear. Crocodile heard this cheer. He wouldn't be too happy. Hiccup tilde tilde tilde. Smoker hiccuped for a long time, ignoring Tashigi and Tina's dissuasion, and picked up the barbecue in front of him with his right hand trembling. Before Smoker could start eating, the smell wafting down his throat was the last straw that overwhelmed him. Pata. Smoker, who was stiff, rolled his eyes and passed out with fullness. This unexpected unfolding made everyone stunned. Especially Crocodile. He was already ready to leave, but the opponent fell first. This kind of feeling of the willows and flowers brightening another village suddenly made Crocodile feel dark inside. I feel that all the hard work I put in before is worth it. Mr. Smoker. Tashigi and Tina quickly came to the stage and used the stretcher prepared by the organizer to carry Smoker, who did not know how many 100 pounds, away. I declare that the winner of the 12th Big Eater Challenge is Shichibukai from the Kingdom of Alabasta, the Great Root, Mr. Crocodile. The host couldn't wait to announce the result, and handed the trophy representing the champion to Crocodile. Oh. The audience cheered. At this moment, even if they knew that the champion was a pirate, the people at the venue still spared no effort to cheer for the winner. Unconsciously, the ruthless pirate image of Crocodile in people's hearts gradually faded, and instead a tenacious fighter who never gave up for victory emerged. Cook Island's Big Eater Challenge ends with a Crocodile victory. But this is not the end. About this particular game, and Crocodile's performance in it, will surely spread throughout East Blue over the next few days, as the people of East Blue know. ... It's finally over. The little crocodile did well this time. In the teahouse box near the venue, Luo Lin nodded with satisfaction. Little Karak is really good this time. I was impressed by him. Miss Going Joe and Vivi both showed admiration. Let's go then. After watching this for so long, you should be hungry too. Next, I will take you to eat delicious food. Luo Lin smiled and rubbed the small heads of Going Joe and Vivi. I can finally go. The only outsider in the room, East Blue's little thief cat Nami, heard the words and heaved a long sigh of relief. However, the next moment, when she saw that Luo Lin naturally picked up her going package and went out first, Nami was dumbfounded again. Don't bring something like this, it's the treasure I've worked so hard to steal. The little girl Nami wailed in her heart, and wanted to cry again. Chapter 52 Roland and Zeph's past and future open black lens bracket 4/5 ask for votes close black lens bracket. The big stomach challenge has ended. The people who watched the game for nearly an afternoon dispersed. Some went to forage for food at major food stalls, while others were preparing to participate in another event in the evening. Of course, some people were carrying camera phone bugs and lined up to take pictures with the champions. In previous years, this was also one of the sideshows of the Big Stomach Challenge. Of course, this year's sideshow is not very good. Previously in the arena, Crocodile put down the pride and majesty of being a ferocious shichibukai. When he walked off the court, even though he was still as fat as a ball, his temperament was still tight. As one of the famous sea pirates, how can you take pictures with people casually? Under Crocodile's several hockey leaps, the crowd that had surrounded him suddenly dispersed. Not bad, little Crocodile, I'm relieved to see you still in such a good mood. Luo Lin came with Vivi, Robin and his party of 6, and joined Crocodile. You still worry about me? Crocodile squinted at Luo Lin with disbelief written all over his face. What? No, how can you say that you are also working for my company? Luo Lin responded with a smile. Crocodile gritted his teeth, crunch. It was originally my work club, and it was my shit and urine. No, I worked so hard to pull it off. Hee hee. Understands Crocodile's mind, huh, Isho. I don't care about you because of your hard work today, but I really didn't expect you to make it to the end. You are really a werewolf. I am impressed by you. Roland said. Hearing this, Crocodile snorted proudly. Of course, since I participated, I must win. It's absolutely impossible for that near marine kid to beat me. Crocodile opened his mouth arrogantly, his nostrils going to the sky. Captain, boss, they have left, do we have to keep up? Mr. Forbibu said. Crocodile was stunned for a moment, then turned to look around, only to realize that Luo Lin and others had already left. Crunch. Keep up. ... Approaching lunch. Every food stall on Cook Island is bustling with people and businesses booming. Barati, East Blue's famous battle restaurant, is even more popular. The kitchen is almost busy with the fryer. Even Sanji, who has always been lazy and saw that the woman can't walk, is speeding up cooking at this moment, and is not attracted by the beautiful customers in the restaurant. Zeph, the head chef of the sea restaurant, is unusually relaxed, alone. Why haven't you come yet? Could it be that Mr. Roland has left? That's true. After all, I only met him a few decades ago. In my heart, he is a beacon and a guide, but for him, maybe I'm just an unimportant passerby. On the second floor of the Balati restaurant on the deck, Zeph, who had been leaning against the rail for an afternoon, thought about it all afternoon, and finally issued a self-deprecating issue. Zeph. At this moment, a familiar voice suddenly sounded in the ears of red-footed Zeph, which instantly lifted the spirit of Zeph who had been lost. Next second, Zeph saw Roland and his party walking towards the coast not far away. Still the familiar voice and smile. Mr. Roland. A look of joy appeared on Zeph's old face. He jumped down from the second deck, stepped on the air and came to Luo Lin, so excited that he couldn't speak. This scene really surprised Robin. Zeph was one of her target contacts, but she hadn't had time to send someone to contact him. So it doesn't make sense to say that Zeph greeted him in awe of the Baroque work's name. So, there is only one truth. Roland and Zeph also just confirmed Robin's inner guess. Don't be nervous, I'm still me. Roland raised his hand and patted Zeph's shoulder, soothing the stirring emotions in his heart. Mr. Roland, it's an honor to see you again. Please get on the boat, I have prepared some beauties for you. Zeph warmly invited. Roland was not polite to him, and with a surprised look on his face, Robin and the others went straight to the third-floor box of Barati, the restaurant on the sea. Up Luo Lin and his party, Zeph rushed back to the kitchen, pushed the other chefs away, occupied the stove, and had to cook himself. Seeing this scene, Sanji and the others were all stunned. What's the matter with the chef today? What's so weird? I don't know, in short, we'd better follow his wishes. The faces of the chefs were stunned, but they all kept silent in tacit understanding. Smelly old man, you took the wrong medicine today. The sous chef Sanji with a pig's head is not afraid at all. But this time Zeph didn't seem to hear it, he didn't take it seriously, and happily went upstairs with a top-notch dish. Look, it really was the wrong medicine. Sanji spread his hands. Bharati's 3-story box. Everyone except Crocodile was feasting. The meals cooked by Chef Bharati are naturally much more delicious than anywhere else. Even the little lowly-going Joe, who doesn't like the staple food, can't help but eat 2 more bowls. 3 rounds of wine, 5 flavors of food. Roland and Zeph walked out of the cabin. Mr. Rollins, 36 years. What the hell happened 36 years ago? Why did you disappear overnight, and even those news reports have no trace of you? Zeph asked what troubled him. 10 years of questioning. 36 years ago, it wasn't a big deal. Roland waved his hand lightly. Rollins said it lightly, but Zeph didn't think it was really nothing. After all, erasing all traces of a hero with great military exploits in this world is not something that ordinary forces can do. There must be a big stake behind that. Since Roland doesn't want to mention it, Zeph won't go to the bottom of it either. It's you, Zeph, how have these years been? Roland asked casually. Zeph gave a wry smile and lifted his prosthetic leg. As Mr. Roland saw, All Blue didn't find it. Instead, he lost the foot that Mr. Roland had saved for me. Zeph said. As long as you think it's worth it, Roland said. Zeph nodded firmly. One of his feet for a son who could carry on his dream was a good deal for Zeph. Although the son was not in shape all day, making him angry, the essence was still good, but he lacked some experience. A flash of light flashed in Zeph's mind, as if he had thought of something. Mr. Rollins, you're reincarnated this time, but you're still short of people. Zeph asked. Chapter 53 East Blue Pirates eyeing Shichibukai open black lens bracket 5/5 asking for a ticket close black lens bracket. East Blue Cook Island, the annual food festival comes to an end after a night of food spree. Cook Island, which has been lively for half a month, gradually became empty. Vessels moored on the shores of the island dwindled at a palpable rate, returning to all parts of East Blue. The Cook Island Food Festival is over. But the holiday's impact on East Blue is far from over. As more and more food festival visitors return to their hometowns, various interesting stories about the festival are also widely spread. Most notably, Shichibukai Crocodile took part in the Big Eater Challenge and won the championship. Soon, the detailed process of this year's Big Eater Challenge was published in East Blue's famous entertainment tabloid. As the news bird quickly spread throughout East Blue, it aroused widespread concern and discussion among East Blue people. Windmill Village. The only small bar in the village. It was unusually lively today. The residents of the Windmill Village who finished their day's work gathered in the bar of Makino, the little green-haired girl, to drink, laugh and chat. This Shichibukai is really interesting. I was a little nervous when I learned that Shichibukai came to East Blue, but Mr. Garp is no longer. It's true, Shichibukai isn't as scary as the legends say, but I think the Bandit King Rixiong back then was more vicious. Speaking of the Bandit King back then, the villagers thought of the pirates who had been in their village for a while 10 years ago. Who would have thought that the red-haired, little, pirate who was very happy with them and even helped them grow the land is now one of the only 4 emperors in this sea. No one will believe this kind of thing. Another small village in East Blue, Syrup Village. Wow it's amazing, it's amazing. What is Shichibukai? Captain Usopp is the most powerful person in the world. This Shichibukai in the newspaper is no match for Captain Usopp at all. The captain doesn't even need to do anything, and his 8,000 subordinates can sweep him down. There is also this big stomach challenge, that is, Captain Usopp did not participate, otherwise the champion will get someone else's turn. The 3 little guys in Syrup Village, Onion Head, Radish Head, and Chinjao Head, believed in the big words of their captain, and looked at the long-nosed young captain in front of him with admiration. Okay everyone, as long as you work hard, you will have the opportunity to follow Captain Usopp and I will become famous in the future. Usopp, the big talker, said proudly. After sending away the 3 innocent little kids, the young Usopp trimmed his hair. Then it's time to tell a story to Kaya. Recently, there seem to be a lot of strangers in the big house. I have to help Kaya to keep an eye on it. If it is a bad person, it will be a big deal. This is the responsibility that Captain Usopp must take on. Usopp, arrogant, walked in the direction of the only big family in the village. East Blue Gothic Island. Alvida pirates, captained by a fat woman with a pockmarked face, are now gearing up for a try. What a shit Shichibukai, that's all, oh ha ha ha, little ones, prepare for me, my mother wants to grab a Shichibukai to warm the bed. The pock-faced fat woman Alvida laughed exaggeratedly. East Blue pirates who share the same thoughts as Alvida are no longer rare. Shameful appearance of crocodile as Shichibukai in the newspaper, the fear of Shichibukai in many little pirates in East Blue suddenly diminished. The great pirates who dreamed of taking the name of Shichibukai to the sky in one step began to gather. One of the biggest pirate forces is the current East Blue overlord, the Krieg pirates. Little ones, get ready to go. When I take down that crocodile's head, it's my turn to sit in Shichibukai's place. Krieg, the East Blue overlord wearing Going's armor, was full of ambition. Captain Krieg Hockey. We are the strongest Krieg pirates, and we must give that crocodile a good look. Shichibukai Krieg. The little pirates of the Krieg pirates roared loudly. East Blue, Kokoyashi Village, Arlong Park. Shichibukai. Fishman Arlong, a shark with a serrated nose, holds a newspaper in his left hand and a red wine glass in his right hand, basking comfortably in the sun. Behind him, the officers of the Arlong pirates stood silently. To be honest, I'm not interested at all about Shichibukai's position. I won't become a human's lackey like that bastard Jinbei, Arlong said coldly. But, if I can kill a Shichibukai with my own hands, that bastard Jinbei will probably no longer be able to despise me. Arlong said excitedly. Arlong, that Shichibukai crocodile will never be as stupid as the news says. Karubi, an Arlong regiment leader, reminded. Of course I know this. I know how powerful Shichibukai is when I fought against the monster Jinbei, but that crocodile, only this sand crocodile with the ability of the Logia rust fruit, maybe we can also take it. Arlong's expression was cruel and indifferent, crushing the red wine glass in his hand, and the blood-red wine was thick as blood. Then 10 years ago, when he was still in the Fishman Pirates and was with his elder brother Fisher Tiger, he had encountered a young crocodile. By watching Tiger, Jinbei and others fighting against Crocodile, he stumbled upon Crocodile's weakness. This Logia Shichibukai is even more afraid of water than the average ability user. And their fishman is naturally the most fond of water. Of course, this alone is not enough. In order to ensure victory, he has to do some preparations. Tweet, Karubi, you two go help me with something. All over East Blue, there are still legends about Shichibukai Crocodile. Crocodile, who is still lying on the boat and suffering from fullness, naturally did not know that he would become famous for East Blue in this way. He didn't even think that he would be able to lower the level of Shichibukai's terror in people's hearts by himself. If he knew, he would have. Chapter 54 Nami's Prayer East Blue Overlord is here. 2 days after Cook Island Food Festival. On the open sea of East Blue, the large artificial rainfall ship Gustav is in front, and in addition to the 5 Bakuro ships that already exist, there is also a large fish ship behind. That's East Blue's famous sea restaurant Bharati. 2 days ago. After seeing Roland again on Cook Island and learning what Roland is doing now, Zeph makes a big decision. He wants to contribute to Roland's career. 40 years ago, it was Luo Lin who saved his legs, which were more important than his life, from the pirates, and pointed out the future direction for him. For Zeph, Roland is like a mentor in life. So this time, after meeting Roland again, he finally made up his mind to follow. For Zeph's decision, all the chefs and employees of Bharati restaurant expressed their surprise and disapproval. In particular, Sanji, the sous chef, reacted strongly to this. The real boss of the Shinbakuro shipping works was Luo Lin. In their opinion, Chef Zeph is going to take refuge with the pirate crocodile. How can this kind of thing work? Zeph couldn't explain much about the staff's objections. After all, the identity of this special existence, Roland, is so important that it can even affect the entire world. Zeph didn't dare to reveal Roland's true identity at will. And, Zeph chose the simplest and crudest way to solve the matter. Under the power of Zeph, the 2 days got along fairly well. Among them, the curly-haired youth Sanji, who originally reacted most violently to Zeph's decision, has completely joined the enemy, and is at his command. Curl your eyebrows, Miss Ben's lemon juice is gone. On the deck of the Gustav, Miss Valentine was lying on a chair, arrogant. Curly eyebrows, isn't my special senbei ready yet? Urged Miss Going Joe on the side. Yes, please wait a moment, it will be all right now. Sanji hurriedly went back and forth between the deck and the kitchen, busy with his work. This scene, the other Bharati chefs who watched it all despised it. There's another fat sheep coming to the door. At this moment, a chef at Bharati restaurant suddenly groaned and pointed to the 4 o'clock southeast direction. There, a pirate ship with a skull flag was heading towards their fleet at full speed. This kind of thing is not new in the past few days. Thanks to Crocodile's performance in the Big Eater Challenge. Many of the little pirates in Rei's East Blue gave birth to a feeling that Shichibukai was no big deal. So they came to challenge each other, trying to seize the position of Shichibukai of Crocodile. The results are obvious. Rollins, even Crocodile and the senior agents don't have to shoot. Barkuro's mid-level and below staff alone plus Bharati's battle chefs are enough to take care of East Blue's little-known little pirates. For the distribution of treasures on the pirate ship, Luo Lin's principle is first come, first served, whoever grabs it first will belong to him. It is for this reason that the battle chefs of Bharati are delighted with the appearance of pirates. Because they are all fat sheep that will definitely be slaughtered. Uncle, this time it's the Alvida pirates, and the captain is Alvida with a bounty of 5 million berries. By comparing the pirate flag, Robin learned the identity of the person who came and reported to Luo Lin. Alvida. Roland frowned slightly. This is the only little pirate who has appeared in the plot in the pirate attack that Roland encountered in the past 2 days, and it is not the kind of trick that can't survive 3 episodes. Being beaten by the Straw Hat Luffy, he got lucky and got the slippery fruit, Alvida, who turned from a big fat woman into a beautiful woman. Her luck was not bad. But for now. For Alvida, who is still ugly and fat, Luo Lin has no interest in watching. Robin, find a kid named Kobe on that ship, and you can bring it back to cultivate. That's a good seedling, Roland said. Yes, Robin nodded. Although the current Kobe is just a weak and cowardly kid, Roland knows that he has the potential to become Marine Admiral, and he is a potential stock. While thinking about it, the battle has begun. Bakuro's staff and Bharati's battle chef saw the pirate ship like a cat smelling fishy. Waiting for the narcissistic Alvida to make an arrogant declaration, the crowd rushed into the enemy's ship. After just 3 minutes, the battle was over. The Alvida pirates died. Captain Alvida's mace was defeated in the Iron Club duel with Mr. Forbibu. He was beaten hundreds of meters and fell into the sea. Hey, it's over before it even started. Are all the pirates in East Blue such a waste? On the second deck of the Gustav, Nami held her chin in her hands, with an angry look on her face. After 2 days of getting along with each other, Nami finally found out which faction the little sister Vivi she met belonged to. Turned out to be Crocodile of Shichibukai. What surprised Nami even more was that Crocodile didn't seem to be the supreme leader, but Roland was. Knowing these shocking facts, Nami was also completely stunned. She knew that she, the #1 thief in East Blue, had really encountered an unreasonable robber this time. It is estimated that the package of treasure will be difficult to get back. But no matter how difficult it is, you still have to try. After all, that's what she's going to use to save her hometown. In the past 2 days, Nami thought of a lot of methods, and they all rejected them. The only way Nami felt feasible was to call a group of pirates strong enough to cause chaos in the fleet, so that she would have a chance to fish in troubled waters. Maybe not only can you get your own treasure back, but you can also get additional wealth. Ah, God, please give me a chance. Nami clasped her fingers together and prayed devoutly. I don't know if Nami's devout prayers worked or what. Just a few hours later, another group of pirates looking for Shichibukai's position came to him. Moreover, compared to the petty fights of the previous 2 days, this time it was obviously a real move, with a full 50 pirate fleet surrounding Luo Lin and his party. East Blue Overlord is here. Chapter 55 The East Blue Overlord is gone. Wise buggy open black lens bracket 1/5 asking for votes close black lens bracket. The overlords of East Blue, the Krieg pirates are here. A large fleet of 50 pirate ships surrounded Ba Kuro's 6 ships, plus a sea restaurant, Barati. Such a situation is a desperate situation for the general pirate group or caravan of East Blue, and there is no possibility of being spared. Even the marine warship where Smoker sits. Even under such a siege, he would only end up being destroyed. In the face of 50 fat sheep pirate ships, even Barati's battle chefs are a little guilty. By contrast, Ba Kuro's employees remained in high spirits, with no trace of fear on their faces. Barati's battle chefs don't know, but they do know how terrifying the big boss Roland and the little boss Crocodile are. Ha ha ha. The captain of the Krieg pirates, who was still arrogant, and the Admiral Krieg came out laughing without knowing that he had hit the iron plate. Wearing a tyrannical and dazzling going armor suit, it shone in the sunlight, making the eyes of the Kuro employees immediately light up. Much is such a big going armor worth. Even the clothes are made by going, this time it is definitely a big fat sheep. The workers at the workplace thought to themselves. Krieg, known as the overlord of East Blue, had no idea what they were thinking, and was even secretly proud. Naively, he thought that the sluggishness of the people on the deck was because he was completely stunned by his crazy hockey potential. It seems that you already know how powerful this uncle is, so it will be much more convenient. East Blue Overlord Krieg nodded in satisfaction, cleared his throat, and spoke. Listen to this uncle. This uncle is the overlord of East Blue, Admiral Krieg. I came here today to take the head of Shichibukai Crocodile. Crocodile, if you're here, get out and die obediently. You don't deserve to be called Shichibukai, so let this uncle take your place. The arrogant Admiral Krieg is outspoken, full of clamor and ridicule. Crocodile, get out. Those who are acquainted with each other should surrender quickly, so that they can barely spare your life. From now on, your Shichibukai position will be our admiral's. Thousands of pirates from the Krieg pirates joined in and shouted. The shouts of thousands of people converged into thunderous waves, which echoed over this sea area, and the momentum was huge. Uncle, can you bear this? Robin covered his ears and looked at Luo Lin, who was still lying down and basking in the sun. What's the matter? It's not me who they are clamoring for anyway. Luo Lin looked like he was hanging up high with nothing to do with himself. But it's annoying to listen like this, Robin said. Don't worry, someone will soon be able to bear it. Luo Lin said with a smile, forked a piece of fruit and put it into his mouth to chew slowly. Just as Roland's voice fell, the door of the Gustav's cabin slammed open. A sand tornado flew out of the cabin at an extremely fast speed. In just the blink of an eye, the sand tornado arrived on the dreadnought battleship Saber, the main ship of the Krieg pirates. Facing the clamoring Admiral Krieg. The sudden appearance of Crocodile shocked all the pirates, including the East Blue Overlord Krieg. Is that why you want to sit in my Shichibukai seat? Crocodile spoke coldly, looking at Krieg even more indifferently, as if looking at a dead man. Crocodile had recovered from fullness a day earlier. Crocodile was really angry when he knew that the cats and dogs of East Blue dared to challenge him and covet his position. However, he couldn't help himself to clean up the little pirates, so he simply chose to continue to pretend to be sick. Until now, Crocodile finally broke out under the increasingly taunting of Krieg's fleet. Under Crocodile's icy and dangerous gaze, Krieg's whole body suddenly fell into an ice cellar, and there was a great fear in his heart for no reason. Captain, Admiral Krieg, he is the Shichibukai crocodile. The captain of the second team of the Krieg pirates, Baru, shouted to remind him, which awakened Krieg from the abyss of fear. Before Krieg could speak, however, Crocodile's right hand was wrapped around his neck. The elementalization of the Logia rustling fruit pulled Krieg into the air along with him. You want to replace me as Shichibukai even with a jerk like you? Crocodile's voice was cold. As he spoke, Krieg's otherwise sturdy body shriveled at a speed visible to the naked eye. It didn't take a moment for it to turn into a mummified corpse under the collective gaze of thousands of eyes from the Krieg fleet, completely dead and completely lifeless. Instant kill. But it was still such a weird and terrifying way to kill a bunch of pirates. Even the commander-in-chief of the big fleet, Jin with the name Man-Demon, couldn't help breaking out in cold sweat at this moment. The body was immobile because of fear. Now it's your turn, to die. Or to surrender, Crocodile growled. Jingle bells. The captain of the second team, Baru, started, and the pirates threw away their armor, and they chose to live. Just a few minutes before and after. A few minutes ago, the East Blue Overlord came, and the scenery was beautiful. A few minutes later, the East Blue Overlord has left, and he walked peacefully, at least he didn't hear his screams. Corpse can still be used for waste, and it can be brought to marine for 17 million bellies. How is this? The one who couldn't accept this ending was Nami. A few minutes ago, she was still making a vow to God, giving her such a good opportunity. However, this good opportunity has not yet begun, it has already ended. Her plan to steal back to going was in vain, and it is estimated that there will be no similar opportunities in the future. The situation was just as Nami had expected. When Crocodile's news of East Blue's Overlord Krieg came out in a split second, the whole East Blue became a sensation again. Had thought that Shichibukai was not very good came to their senses one after another, and hurriedly turned back to their own 1-acre and 3-point land, unable to regenerate their thoughts of going out to challenge Shichibukai. Krieg fleet with 50 pirate ships is nothing, what can they do? The eager East Blue pirates all died down. Of course, there is a huge East Blue, and there are some pirates who are indifferent to Shichibukai's position from beginning to end. Buggy pirates led by the Clown Buggy. Captain Buggy, big news. That Krieg was picked up by Shichibukai. Kabaji, chief of staff of the Buggy pirates, shouted in panic. What? Waiting for Buggy's response, the other members of the Buggy pirates showed shock and disbelief on their faces. Who once pushed Buggy to kill Crocodile were sweating profusely, and they were terrified. Buggy with a bright red nose gave a deep smile, which seemed so clear in the quiet bass. Isn't it a matter of course? Buggy had a wise look on his face. The heart was already roaring and roaring. A bunch of idiots, it's a shame I didn't listen to you. That Shichibukai crocodile used to be able to draw a tie with that monster bullet. Bullet, you ask? That is a monster comparable to the vice captain, Pluto Rayleigh. Rounding it all up, Crocodile is a monster that can match up with the legendary Hades Rayleigh. If this uncle believed you're evil and challenged it, even 100 lives would not be enough. Asshole. Buggy roared inwardly. Chapter 56 Deceiving Too Much. Nami's emotional breakdown. When the East Blue Overlord Krieg challenged Shichibukai, he failed and died. Since the big fleet was removed from East Blue, those arrogant East Blue little pirates who were just about to move all woke up and realized that this is a pit, whoever jumps will die. So the pirates of East Blue went back to their respective homes, and no longer dared to have any unreasonable thoughts about the position of Shichibukai. The fleet that had been lively for several days was also suddenly deserted. At the end of the day, no fat sheep who are not afraid of death will come to the door. Even if they happen to encounter a pirate ship, the other party recognized Bakuro's ship from a distance, and immediately ran as far as possible. Seeing the fat sheep that was about to run away, this situation made the belligerent cooks in Baratie very sad. Fortunately, they still have their old jobs. Just supplying the food for Luolin and his party in one day is much more than the turnover in the previous week. Before reaching the next destination, the peaceful days passed quietly. However, that day, late at night, the spacious captain's room of the Gustav. At a certain moment, Luolin suddenly opened his eyes and got up to go out. At the same time, the sea restaurant Baratia food freezer. Fishmonks with blue skin took out 2 needles glowing with purple light from their arms. It contains the powerful paralyzing toxin of some kind of sea snake in the depths of the sea. Just 1 drop can paralyze a tyrannosaur. The leaders of the Arlong pirates, Karubi and Ju, raised their needles and prepared to inject sea snake venom into tomorrow's ingredients. Next second. Boom. Conqueror Haki surged out. Silently. The 2 fishman cadres rolled their eyes and passed out completely. Fishman, hee. The corner of Roland's mouth curled up, which was much colder than the temperature in the cold room. ... The next morning. Ah! Frightened screams from the cleaning staff at Baratie on the sea woke the sleepers. Fishman, it's the fishman thief. Soon, Baratie chef Zeph, Sanji and others heard the news, gathered in the food freezer on the ship, and saw 2 fishmen lying on the ground and shivering unconsciously. Fishmonks caught in the Baratie freezer quickly spread throughout the fleet, as well as in the ears of Vivi and others. For Fishman, he has always only heard his name, and Vivi, who had never seen it before, was immediately excited and pulled Nami to watch the fun. What the excited Vivi didn't notice was the unconcealed panic and hatred that appeared on Nami's pretty face when she heard the word fishman. Uncle, you should have caught those 2 fishmen last night. Robin asked. Roland responded casually. Since it was caught last night, why didn't you inform everyone? Robin said. Small thing, Roland answered succinctly. Robin snorted helplessly. Well then, I'll go check the situation and come back to tell you. ... Balatea deck of the sea restaurant. Fishman, who had been frozen overnight in the freezer, slowly recovered after a long while. Cat. Zeph's stick kicked the deck twice, stopping the murmur of the crowd. Fishman, where on earth are you from? What are you trying to do with us, Baratie? Zeph asked imposingly, and the 2 fishman cadres were shocked. We. 2 fishmen faltered for a moment without saying why. That Arlong entrusted to them in Crocodile's food and drinking water. As the public interrogation progressed, the crowd of onlookers also increased. It was not easy for Vivi to squeeze into the front with Nami. Vivi, who saw Fishman's appearance with his own eyes, exclaimed in amazement. However, Nami beside her, her fragile body trembled at this moment. Nami. You are Nami. The moment Nami appeared, the 2 fishman officials also discovered her existence, their eyes lit up, and they thought of an excellent reason. Captain Zeph of the sea restaurant Baratie, Krobia and I sneaked into your ship this time to rescue our mate. That's right, we got word a few days ago that you've captured our mate. Your partner. Zeph's face suddenly became stunned. Our partner is her, Nami. 2 fishmen looked at Nami at the same time, but their eyes contained not the kindness of their companions, but a vicious threat and intimidation. Hey everyone was shocked. Nami. Such a young and lovely girl turned out to be Fishman's partner. Under Fishman's gaze, Nami's body trembled more and more quickly because of fear. Nami. Vivi looked puzzled and worried, and held Nami's small hand tightly, trying to give her cold hand a touch of warmth. Nami, hurry up. You should tell them quickly, you are our partner. If you don't come back with us today, I can't guarantee what Big Brother Arlong will do. Two Fishman cadres looked at Nami anxiously and urgently, and at the same time they were even more subtle threats. Under the aggressive verbal barrage of two Fishman cadres, Nami collapses and explodes. Damn Fishman, you are not my partners, I wish I could stab you in 1,000 pieces. If it weren't for you coming to my village without authorization and mutilating everyone in the village without authorization. Without authorization, my mother would have been mercilessly killed by you. If it weren't for you, I could be like an ordinary little girl. Do you know how I spent these 10 years? My heart has been suppressed. Nami, who was completely out of control, complained hoarsely about the oppression and mutilation of her hometown by the Fishman Arlong gang, and her tears had burst. Hearing Nami's tearful accusation, everyone on Bharati was stunned. Fishman officials, Ju and Krobia, looked frightened and angry, and then they all turned into panic. They seem to have foreseen what will happen next. No, listen to my explanation. Nami, you actually. Bastard Fishman, how dare you do such an outrageous thing to the lovely Miss Nami. I can't forgive. If I'm indifferent to seeing the lady cry, what kind of knight am I? Ah. The curly-browed chef Sanji was the first to burst out, and he wanted to breathe fire in anger, and there seemed to be angry flames rising all over his body. He was already furious. Devil's Foot, Barbecue Fishman. Relentless flame feet rained down on the two immobile Fishman cadres. Zeph and Bharati's other battle chefs also rolled up their sleeves and went to work. Just a minute later, the two powerful cadres under Fishman Arlong were deformed under the beatings of the chefs, dying with only their last breath. Chapter 57 Arlong Mouse One Pot Side. Ba Kuro Gustav. With the help of Robin, Vivi successfully brought Nami, who was out of control, back to her room, accompanied by little lowly Going Joe. Considering that Nami may lose control of her emotions again at any time, Robin will bring Going Joe, a natural, superpower, person, with him. But Nami's strength is obviously beyond Robin's expectations. Just a few minutes after returning to her room, Nami adjusted her emotions on her own, and was no longer as hysterical as before, and her strength was distressing. From the appearance of the girl who was only 15 or 16 years old, Robin seemed to see himself in the past. Nami. Vivi looked worriedly at the first best friend she met in East Blue. Both hands still held Nami's cold little hands tightly, hoping to bring even a little warmth to her. Thank you, Vivi, I'm much better. After venting, Nami forced a smile and said. Nami, don't keep anything in your heart, we are good sisters, the problem you are facing is mine, and I will do my best to help you. Even if my ability is not enough, there are Sister Robin, everyone, and Brother Luo Ling, he is the most powerful person I have ever met, and we will all help you. Vivi had a determined expression on her face, trying to convey her feelings to Nami. Hearing this, Nami's eyes turned red with emotion. Vivi in the first place because he wanted to steal money. However, Nami couldn't open her mouth and ask this kind girl for help. Nami, if you just keep the pain in your heart, others won't know it. If you really want to save someone, you have to say it. Before Nami shook her head, Robin, who saw through her inner concerns, spoke first. After hearing what Robin said, Nami was stunned. The stagnation and confusion in his mind instantly penetrated. Yeah, it's already at this point. I have no turning back, Nami looked at the three Vivi in the room. These people are me, the last hope of Kokoyasi village. Nami took a deep breath and figured it all out. Little Vivi, first of all I want to apologize to you. Nami said. Apologize? Why? Vivi wondered. I'm sorry, that day I was chased by those scumbags on Cook Island because I stole their treasure. I approached you just because I thought you were a rich man and could steal money from you. Nami confesses. But Nami, what do you need that much money for? Vivi asked rhetorically. The first thing she thought about was not that Nami was cheating on her feelings, but the difficulty behind Nami's actions. Nami's eyes reddened again when she realized that Vivi really regarded her as her sister. Fish man. Nami opened her mouth, and the painful memories flooded her mind, causing her to close her eyes involuntarily. But she has decided to say everything about herself. Arrival of Fishman Arlong and his group in East Blue and Kokoyasi village 10 years ago, Nami began to describe her past in detail. This is Nami's first time to tell her inner pain in front of outsiders. Before I knew it, tears were streaming down my face. Arlong gang on her arm was deeply embedded, scratched and bloodied by her nails. Listening to Nami's painful self-report, Vivi was already in tears. She never imagined that the girl who used to be quirky in the past would carry such a heavy shackle on her body. Under her old smile, what kind of pain was suppressed? And she never saw the slightest bit from the beginning to the end. Is this still a sister? Nami, don't be afraid, don't worry anymore, everything will be fine. The tearful Vivi hugged Nami, who was also tearful. Robin also had frost on his face, silently wiped off the blood on Nami's arm with a clean towel, and bandaged her wound. Finally quietly took Going Joe out of the room. Outside the door, Luo Lin did not know when he had arrived. Uncle, you already know. Robin said. I've always known, Roland said. Roland knew everything about Nami without having to read her mind. He came to East Blue this time, and the Arlong gang in Kokoyasi village was his first target. Even if Nami didn't ask for help, Roland, who used to be Marine, would never sit idly by. Robin, go and call Crocodile, I have other tasks to explain to him, and then it is time to take the initiative to do something. Roland ordered. When they were tired from crying, Vivi and Nami, who were embracing each other, woke up at dusk. Looking around, this is a slightly childish room. Just as Nami and Vivi were puzzled, the door opened. If you wake up, go eat a little something, it will be there soon. Robin said with a smile. Sister Robin, where is this place? Sister Robin, where are you going? Vivi and Nami asked at the same time. The ship is Marianne's Cairo Natural Maru, and we're almost at Kokoyasi village, Robin replied. What? Vivi and Nami were shocked again. Immediately, Nami didn't even bother to put on her shoes, and ran to the deck barefoot. Not far away, an island that she was so familiar with that she could no longer be familiar had appeared in her sight. Little girl Nami, run out without shoes, be careful of catching a cold. Roland reminded with a smile. Nami's small mouth was deflated, and tears flowed uncontrollably again. Belmere, Mom, did you see that? I seem to have met an angel. At this moment, just as Roland and Nami, Robin, Vivi, and Going were about to arrive at Kokoyasi village on a clipper on Thursday, the Bakuro fleet commanded by Crocodile on the other side was also gradually approaching the target location given by Rollins. The 16th Division of East Blue Marine, Colonel Mouse, this is a bit interesting. After holding a Marine division, those idiots in East Blue should also know the horror of my Shichibukai Crocodile. Crocodile looked at the small Marine base that appeared in his sight and thought with great interest. Chapter 58 Pass, hit, explode. Open black lens bracket 4/5 for flower evaluation close black lens bracket. Dusk passes, and night falls. The light sailing ship Jaluo Natural Maru sailed straight towards the sinful place called Arlong Paradise. In the dark night, the bright lights and loud noises of Arlong Park attract attention. Arlong pirates headed by the sawtooth shark fishman Arlong were still immersed in the carnival of the banquet, unaware that the scythe of the god of death had been placed on top of their heads. When the sailboat Jalu Natural Maru smashed through the sea gate of Arlong Paradise, all the fishmonts of the Arlong pirates were shocked. Who is so bold? Don't you know this is the base of our Arlong pirates? Bastard, dare to disturb our banquet. No matter who you are dead today. A group of fishmen scolded sharply. Arlong. On the deck, Nami took a deep breath, plucked up the courage to stand on the bow, and shouted angrily. Nami, am I right? That's Nami. Boss Arlong, that ship is from Nami. Hey, Nami, did you take the wrong medicine today? You dare to do this, you know the consequences. In the face of the anger and threats from all the fishmen, Nami was unmoved, and still just stared at Arlong. Arlong, I've had enough. Starting today, I'm no longer your subordinate, today I'm here to avenge you. Nami said. Hearing this, the audience was silent at first, and then there was a burst of jeering. Ha 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 ha, did I hear it right? You, a weak human being, still want to avenge us. Hey, Nami, we can't just listen to these words. Rebellion is only a dead end. Brother Arlong, since Nami said so, how about we kill everyone in this village in front of her today? Good idea, I agree. ... Ha ha ha. The sawtooth shark fishman Arlong on the beach chair stood up, and then laughed loudly, but his gaze towards Nami was colder than the 1,000-year ice. Nami, since you dare to say this, it seems that you have found a backer. Let him come out. I want to see who your backing is today. Arlong said coldly. I wonder if you can be so arrogant when I throw his head in front of you. Arlong sneered. He, if you want to know who will die today, then I'm already here. Roland's murderous voice sounded behind Arlong without warning. Swish. In the darkness, a cold light passed by. Blood rose to the sky with one of Arlong's arms. This sudden change made all the fishmen present pale in horror. Ah! The sudden severe pain of the severed arm struck. Arlong involuntarily let out a series of shrill screams, stumbled back, hit a barbecue, and himself fell into a charcoal fire. The charcoal fire burned the shark skin on his body red, but this scorching heat was nothing compared to the pain of a broken arm. Arlong's eyes just stared at the young man who suddenly appeared and cut off one of his arms. His eyes were full of viciousness and rage. Damn it, who are you, human? When did you stand behind me? Arlong growled angrily. A human being appeared silently behind him, but he didn't notice it at all. This was too abnormal. If Roland chopped off not his arm but his head, then now he is a cold corpse. Thinking of this, Arlong felt a chill in his heart, and fear grew. For many years, since he came to this weakest East Blue, he is the king of this sea, and no one has ever been able to make him afraid. However, today, after meeting Luo Lin today, Arlong unconsciously gave birth to a sense of fear when he faced Marine Vice Admiral, a Logia glitter fruit ability user more than 10 years ago. Damn, there's no way anyone in East Blue is stronger than me, and you're not Crocodile, who are you? Arlong yelled. Afraid. Back then when you oppressed and murdered ordinary people, did you ever think about the ending today, and did you ever think that you would also become the flesh of others? Roland scolded. Ha ha ha, I'm scared. Stop joking. How can I be afraid of you being a mere human? Arlong retorted with a pretentious calm. Despicable human, relying on sneak attacks to hurt me, but now you have no chance. I will make you suffer 10 times. No, it is 100 times more pain. Arlong said viciously, holding a huge serrated sword in his right hand, which was his weapon Zonfang. Give me death. Arlong grinned Isho, waving a huge Zonfang with his right hand and slashed towards Luo Lin in the middle. Luo Lin did not dodge or evade, letting Arlong's slashing sword fall on him. Kang. Arlong's powerful knife hit Roland, but he couldn't inflict even the slightest scar on Roland's tough body. Not waiting for Arlong to be shocked. Swish. The light of the sword flashed again in the dark night. Blood rushed out again. Arlong's head that was rushing up with blood. There was deep shock, fear and disbelief on his face. Death, Arlong couldn't believe it. In East Blue, he will one day be easily dealt with twice. Arlong didn't believe it, nor did the other fishmons. Fishman Arlong was defeated so quickly and died. This shocking scene made Arlong Paradise fall into a dead silence. All the fishman's eyes widened, looking at Arlong's body in disbelief. After a while, a shrill roar broke the dead silence. Big brother! Big brother Arlong! Big brother Arlong is dead and killed by that human being. Damn, unforgivable, unforgivable, dare to kill brother Arlong. I will never spare you. The group of fishmen was excited, each clenched a weapon in their hand, and killed Roland regardless. Facing the aggressive crowd of fishmen, Luo Lin looked calm, neither joy nor sorrow. Before coming, Roland thought about what to do with the other fishmen except Arlong. Is it all killed, or grab it and hand it over to Marine? After hearing the vicious threat of the fishmons to Nami just now, Roland already had the answer in his heart. Was in Marine, when he planned to destroy other pirates who were full of evil, Sengoku would always stand up to him and reason with him, persuading him to detain the pirates and impel down instead of killing them all. With Marine's so-called humane approach. Now that he is no longer Marine, he naturally doesn't need to follow any rules. Then underscore. Pass, hit, explode. ... Chapter 59 Boiling Village and Marine Base. The night at Kokoyashi Village is doomed to never sleep. Belonged to the fishman has now been turned into a Shira field. Roland killed one person in one step. Fist wind direction, no one can stop. Fishman who came with killing intent burst open under Luo Lin's unparalleled punching style. The scene is bloody. But there is a different kind of beauty in the vagueness. This is the aesthetic of violence. 5 minutes later, the world was quiet. The entire Arlong Park fell into an unspeakable silence. Fishmen present were spared, and all of them were blown up. Fishman group that has ruled this sea area for 8 years and exploited the poor people recklessly has perished. Only Luo Lin still stood in the field, and his clothes were still spotless, like a fairy in myth. On the bow of the Chiro Natural Maru, Nami was holding onto the railing with both hands. No matter how bloody the scene in front of her was, no matter how it made her nauseous, she never looked away. 8 years of painful experiences have supported her to watch all this and witness the end of the Arlong gang with her own eyes. Arlong is dead, all the fishmons who oppressed them are dead, Belmir's vengeance has been avenged, and the village is finally free. At this moment, all the dark clouds shrouded in Nami's life dissipated. 8 years of grievances poured out at this moment, and Nami, who took off her strong disguise, cried like a child. Nami. Vivi, who heard Nami's cry, suddenly looked anxious. Sister Robin, how's the situation? Why is Nami crying again? Oops, let me go out and see. Vivi said anxiously. Little Vivi, believe me, it's better not to come out now, you won't want to see this scene. Robin reminded kindly. Bang bang bang. At this moment, a loud knock on the door suddenly sounded. Outside Arlong Park, the fire was shining and the people were crowded. Was the village's police officer Ajien and Nami's sister Nojiko led by the village representatives arrived. After all, Kokoyashi village is so big, the noises in Arlong Paradise naturally alarmed the villagers. The door opens. When they saw that Nami was the one at the gate of opening, police officers Ken, Nojiko and the other villagers were all stunned. Nami, why are you here? Arlong, what did they do to you? Are you hurt? The police officer Ajien, who has always regarded Nami as his daughter, suddenly asked anxiously. Nami, it's all right, my sister is here. Nojiko hugged Nami and comforted her softly. I'm fine, sister, it's over, Arlong, they're all dead, we're free. Nami whispered. It's okay, it's okay. Nojiko patted Nami's back, and then the whole person suddenly froze. What? Nami, you said Arlong was dead. Is that true? Nojiko's voice raised an octave involuntarily. Yes, it's all over. Nami spoke firmly. Under Nami's explanation, Nojiko, Mr. Jin and others finally believed in the fact that the village was free. After that was a long shock. For a long time. Nojiko, with short blue hair, took a deep breath to calm down his shock, walked to Luo Lin, and bowed deeply. Mr. Luo Lin, thank you very much for your action. I can't repay the kindness and virtue. From now on, if it is useful to me, please don't be polite. Nojiko thanked sincerely. And me, in the future, even if Mr. Luo Lin asks me to go down the mountain and go down to the Sea of Fire, I will do it. Okay, elder sister and Mr. Agn, brother Luo Ling won't ask you to go up the mountain and go down to the Sea of Fire, and this is not a place to talk, let's go back first, go back first. Nami shoved herself with a smile. Elder sister. Then what should I do here? Should I take someone to clean it first? Agn said. No, just keep it for now, someone will come to take care of the aftermath tomorrow. Luo Lin said. Besides, it's time for the people above Marine to pay attention to these bottom worms. Since you can't see it as a marshal, then I'll help you again, so that you can see it more clearly. ... Nojiko, Agn and the others headed back to the orangery to prepare for the welcome banquet. Nami and Roland returned to the boat and drove the boat to the back of the village. Just after Luo Lin and his party's Jalu Natural Maru left Arlong Paradise. Hachi, the octopus of the Arlong pirates with 6 arms and 2 legs, came back with a fish basket and sitting on the head of a manatee. Yeah, it's really bad this time. I went out to fish and missed the time. I hope Big Brother Arlong and the others didn't notice. Octopus Hachi scratched his bald head in a cute way. Mu tilde, Manatee Mu seemed to be drinking. Not long after, the octopus Hachi approached the sea gate. It's so quiet, something's wrong. Mu, wait here for a while, I'll check the situation. Octopus Hachi's heart sank and he felt an unpleasant aura. After a while, Octopus Hachi returned hurriedly and anxiously. Excuse me, I'm sorry, let's go Mu, we've come to the wrong place. Octopus Hachi had a slight trembling in his voice, and the lingering fear on his face did not disappear, so he fled far away and escaped from East Blue. ... On the other side, the orange orchard where Nami's house is located has been sleepless all night. As the benefactor who saved Kokoyasi village, Luo Lin was dragged by Agn and other villagers to thank him all night. Robin took Vivi and Going Joe to sleep in the room arranged by Nojiko early. Nojiko and Nami's sisters also returned to the room in the middle of the night. The two talked a night of whispers between sisters. As a result, they both wore panda makeup the next day. Early the next morning, large fleet of Bakuro headed by the Gustav arrived outside Kokoyasi village, causing the ordinary village to panic. However, shortly thereafter, when the bloody scenes in Arlong Park spread, the villagers also finally learned that the Arlong pirates, which had been entrenched here and oppressed them for 8 years, had been destroyed by Shichibukai crocodile. As a result, the panic in the village is no longer, replaced by cheers and joy that broke through the sky. The whole Kokoyasi village is boiling. Also boiling was the Logatown Marine Base a few hours ago. Because a few hours ago, they received a report from the East Blue 164 branch. 166 branch base adjacent to 164 branch. No more. ... Chapter 60 lays outer focus and Nen's smoker. Kuro fleet headed by the Gustav successfully arrived at the designated location, the sea gate of Arlong Park according to the instructions of the phone bug. Dozens of wailing marine prisoners were also strapped to the spacious deck of the Gustav. These marines are Crocodile's spoils of war with the East Blue Marine 166 branch overnight. Among them, Colonel Mouse, whose 166 branch colluded with Arlong's gang, is also on the list of prisoners. Captain Crocodile, boss, president, they don't seem to be here anymore. Miss Valentine looked around, looking for the whereabouts of Luo Lin and his party, but saw nothing. I'll go up and have a look. Crocodile's nose moved. Vivi, smelling the faint smell of blood wafting in the air, and immediately frowned. Wow! Logia's rustling fruit ability activates, and Crocodile's body becomes elemental. The next moment he appeared in Arlong Park, and then he couldn't help being surprised. This seemingly imposing park building is empty, and there is no breath of life. As far as the eye can see, there are only broken corpses one after another and pieces of meat that are no longer known. The floor covered with white marble has long been stained with blood, either black or red. Crocodile couldn't help but feel a little frightened when he looked at this scene, like sheer as hell. But not because of this disgusting murder scene, but because of Roland. To this day, Crocodile still doesn't know the identity of the monster who accompanied Nicole Robin to seize his organization and ride on his head. However, after getting along with Roland these days, and looking at what he has done, Crocodile has basically equated Roland with a good person. But after seeing the brutal scene in front of him, Crocodile couldn't help but murmur in his heart. He was pretty sure that the person who caused the scene was Roland. Such a ferocious massacre method is even more than that of him, the big pirate. Is Roland a good man of justice, or a murderer who pretends to be justice? Crocodile was a little confused again. At the same time, the degree of mystery and terror of Roland's identity quietly rose to a new level in his heart. Come on. Don't know what's going on in Arlong. Let's go and see what's going on. Just as Crocodile lost his mind, people shouted from outside the main gate of Arlong Park. A few moments later, several village representatives who had been with Ajien and Nojiko last night and knew the inside story brought a large number of ordinary villagers from Kokoyasi village into Arlong Park. When they saw the mutilated fishman corpses in Arlong Park, many of the villagers immediately turned around and retched. The villagers who were barely able to resist this shocking scene all turned their attention to Crocodile. That gentleman over there, could it be that you got rid of these fishmen? A villager representative who knew the inside story exaggeratedly said. There must be nothing wrong with this, it's great. God finally opened his eyes and sent you to destroy Arlong for us. Another villager representative echoed. It's great, the Arlong gang who bullied us in Kokoyasi village for 8 years finally took their toll, and we're free from now on. The last villager representative was in tears. But it's not acting, it's revealing the truth, it's an emotional catharsis for the end of the 8 years of being dominated. Driven by the rhythm of the 3 senior villager representatives, the ordinary villagers of Kokoyasi village finally responded one after another. For a time, the cries became a film. Some people shouted because of freedom, some people laughed because of the death of Arlong's group, children and women hugged and cried, and old people closed their eyes in mourning for the relatives who died at the hands of Arlong. Of course, the naive Kokoyasi village villagers will not forget the heroes who rescued them from the dark abyss, the domination of Arlong. So, Crocodile, who was grateful from all the villagers in Kokoyasi village, was just stunned. What's the situation? First just sent marine captives as ordered. Thank you to the wrong person. I am a pirate. It's the object of your fear. The veins on Crocodile's forehead gradually bulged. At this moment, Kokoyasi Village Heights Orange Grove. Little Karak doesn't seem to be very happy, he is obviously a hero. Little lowly-going Joe looked at Crocodile in the distance while holding the observation glass. HMPH, how could he be unhappy? At this moment, he may not know how happy he is. After all, he doesn't have to do anything. It's nothing to be a hero. That Crocodile is the best at pretending to be a hero. Robin pouted, very dissatisfied with Crocodile's behavior of being cheap and good. If Crocodile hears Robin's words, he will surely jump up, excitedly, to refute, who wants to be a hero. Brother Rolling, Marine. Marine is really here. Vivi, who was looking at the sea through the observation mirror, suddenly rushed to report. Oh, it's just right, let's watch this scene first and then go. Roland Vivi Isho. Off the coast of the island where Kokoyasi village is located, 7 marine warships are coming fast. A man and a woman standing on the leading warship, 2 heroic marines. It was Colonel Logatown Marine, White Hunter Smoker, and Colonel Tina, the beautiful woman. Few minutes later, Smoker used the maximum force at his disposal to surround the Bakuro fleet moored outside Kokoyasi village. Crocodile. Smoker's angry shout resounded through the sky. At the same time, a white smoke like a dragon jumped up from the warship, crossed 100 meters, and fell into Arlong Park. When he saw the blood and broken limbs on the ground in Arlong Park, Rao was the White Hunter, Smoker, and he couldn't help but catch his breath at this moment. Up again, Smoker's eyes were filled with angry flames. Crocodile, what the hell are you doing here, you bastard? I can't forgive it. As long as I'm here, you can't even touch these innocent villagers. The hot-headed Smoker roared. After seeing the bloody scene in Arlong Park, Smoker subconsciously thought it was Crocodile gathering the villagers for a brutal massacre. Goo tilde ha. Crocodile smiled habitually negatively, without saying a word or explaining anything. Result, there seemed to be flames rising above Smoker's head. Asshole, I don't think there is any need to cross-examine the East Blue 166 branch, and what happened here, even if you were Shichibukai, I will definitely not let you go unpunished this time. As the head of the East Blue Logatown Marine Base, I have arrested the vicious criminal Crocodile. Your actions will be judged by the military court, Smoker said righteously. Marine's uncle. At this moment, a young voice suddenly sounded behind Smoker. Smoker turned his head, and several children from Kokoyasi village were staring at him. Don't be afraid, children, with me here, this pirate will never touch you again. Smoker said bluntly. No. One of the children shook his head suddenly. Smoker was taken aback. Uncle Marine, can you stop catching that cool big brother? He is the benefactor who saved us from the Arlong gang. Huh. Smoker only felt his head rumbling, and the whole person seemed to be struck by lightning, and the thunder was so tender.